Pokémon GO 5th Anniversary.
Hello Pokemon trainers and welcome to the playoffs of the Pokemon GO Tournament. My name is Trainer Danny and joining me is the wonderful expert of the game, Professor Marky.
Yes, hello Danny, nice to see you again. This is very exciting. The Pokemon GO Tournament for the Battle Festival Asia 2021. This is such an exciting day for all Pokemon GO players around the Asian region. And this is going to be so exciting because today we are also talking about a lot on Pokemon Brilliant Diamond, Pokemon Shining Pearl, Pokemon GO, Pokemon Unite, Pokemon Trading Card Game for the Battle Festival. But today we are focusing on the Pokemon GO Tournament, right, Dan Lee?
Absolutely. So today we have 8 talented trainers representing 7 different regions, and today they're competing for the crown to say that they are the kings of Pokemon GO for this year. And they're not just the crown, they're also aiming for a prize, Professor Marky. Do you know what the prize is?
It's quite exciting. I've heard about this prize. They are getting a Nintendo Switch and 1 copy of Brilliant Diamond and 1 copy of Shining Pearl. So it's the trio of excellence. If you win, you get to take home these awesome prizes. But before that, why don't we talk about the bracket?
Absolutely, we do need to introduce the trainers that are going to be competing today. So let's meet our trainers. So here are our top 8 trainers that are going to be competing today. Starting off on the very left side from Indonesia, we have Snowflakes 27, followed by Lina 86 from Malaysia. From Indonesia, yet again, we have B Bobby. From Singapore, we have Flair Best. From the Philippines, we have Ikiyoshi. From Hong Kong, we have Arbiter. From Taiwan, we have Walker. And then finally, we have Black Yusun from Thailand.
So exciting. We have the best of the best from all the regions, or 7 of the finest regions in Southeast Asia. And it's very exciting to find out who will come out on top. Also, why don't we talk about the brackets?
Of course. So we're going to jump into the brackets right now, but for our viewers that are tuning in, so just before the tournament went live, the brackets were drawn. This unfortunately will not be live for you, but the matchups that you see on the screen right now, this is our trainers' first opponents for today. Now, speaking of opponents, we're going to start off with our first quarterfinal matchup. That's going to be starting at 12 o'clock. We have Flair Best going up against Walker in our first best of 3. In our second quarterfinal matchup, we have Black Yusun from Thailand going up against Snowflakes 27 from Indonesia at 12:30 p.m. At 1 p.m., we have Lina 86 from Malaysia going up against Ikiyoshi. I know that's going to be a matchup that we're very keen about, Marky. And then finally,
Malaysia versus the Philippines.
Yes. And then our final quarterfinal matchup is going to be B Bobby from Indonesia going up against Arbiter at 1:30 p.m. And the winners of these matchups are going to move on to the semifinals. Right, Marky?
Yes, and I hear that it is a single elimination. So it's best of 3. They play 3 rounds, and the ones who win go through the semifinals. And finally, when they reach the grand finals, it is best of 5. So instead of having to only win 2 matches, you have to win 3 of the 5 matches to be able to be deemed the grand winner. And finally, we are focusing on Great League, meaning 1,500 CP and below. If you go above that, you cannot use the Pokemon. So it's got to be 1,500 CP and below.
It's going to be very exciting, Marky. I'm looking forward to seeing who's going to be our grand finalists today, because the battles, they're going to be spicy, because we're looking at the best players in Southeast Asia.
Again, let me remind everyone about this awesome grand prize. This is something that I've always actually wanted to receive. A Nintendo Switch from the Pokemon Company, as well as 1 copy of Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl to play through the nostalgia of the region that I've always loved to go through this in a region. And I'm very excited for whoever wins this to really get onto the main series games. Right, Danley?
It's a very pretty game. It's been updated. I've been enjoying it. I've been playing Brilliant Diamond. It's great. For anyone that hasn't played it yet, we do recommend the game. But speaking of Pokemon, we're going to go back to the Pokemon GO Tournament because that's the highlight for today. And Marky, I do believe we're ready to jump into our first matchup.
Yes, we are. So very excited. Let's find out who the first two are.
Our first matchup of the day, it's going to be Ric Flair, best from Singapore, going up against Walker from Taiwan. Now, Marky, I know that you know some of the players competing today, but are you familiar with any of these players in our first game?
You know, I've seen a couple of these individuals. Ric Flair best. I've seen him in, the Legend set, some of the best Pokemon Go players, because there are lists of some of the best players, especially the ones who reach certain ranks in the Pokemon Go Battle League. So I'm excited to see how he plays. Walker, I am also familiar with. These are some of the best in the region. They wouldn't have gotten to where they are today if they had not beaten some of the other best players in their region. So now it's very exciting to find out which region comes out on top.
And we do need to take a look at the Pokemon that they're going to be playing with today. Now, just a reminder to our viewers, the Pokemon that our trainers bring in today, they're not allowed to change them. What they bring in for this first matchup is what they'll have to play with if they make it to the grand final. So looking over on Ric Flair, best side, Marky, how are the Pokemon looking here for Rick?
It's actually quite exciting to see this because we don't actually know if these Pokemon are purified, if they're shadow, if they're best buddied. We only see the names and we also do not see the moves. So none of the opponents know exactly what they're going up against. But looking at just typing, based on typing, Walker versus Ric Flair, it shows that Azumarill will be a good counter to Bastiodon as well as Sableye, which could not be a first option in my opinion because it doesn't have a lot of good weakness matchups. Medicham versus Bastiodon. Medi would beat Bastiodon in a lot of matches, and Swampert would take down Bastiodon as well, so watch out for that in Ric Flair's side. Drapion is also not safe. Skarmory versus that Trevenant could be a good starter as well. Looking at Ric Flair versus Walker, Trevenant is good against 3 Mons Walker has, so that could be a good starter Mon to use. Drapion hits hard versus Azumarill because of its awesome fast Poison Sting attack. Bastiodon could take down that pesky Skarmory, and it has a lot of flying attacks, therefore Bastiodon could be a very good option versus that Skarmory. Skarmory can also take down that Medicham, and could be very effective against that Sableye as well. And a safe option would be a Swampert to start off with for Ric Flair's side. But who knows what they're going to start with? Who knows what ideas they have to begin this matchup? It's going to be exciting because a lot of their Mons are very good against each other. They have a very strong list of Pokemon that have a lot of good matchups versus each other. So this is a very, very interesting first quarterfinals round. Let's find out what they will choose for their first 3 Pokemon.
Right, so I do believe the battle is going to be heating up very shortly, but before then, Marky, would you be able to maybe guess what these trainers are going to bring in for their opening matchup?
For their opening...
What would be the safe approach, right?
I don't know, but a good safe approach would probably be an Azumarill because it does not have a lot of weaknesses on the other side, although that Trevenant is very scary, so watch out for that. Another good one probably for Walker would probably be, let's say, a Skarmory. But you know what? There are no safe ones in this particular matchup. So it's exciting to see what they start off with.
All right, Marky, we're going to have to hold it there. Hold it there, Marky. I know you're very excited, okay?
I have so many things to talk about, but we're going to hold it there for now and find out what exactly they do choose, right?
Right, now before we jump into the matchup, I do believe our trainers are ready, but before then, let's introduce Ric Flair Best and Walker to the stage.
Hi, this is Ric Flair from Singapore. I've been playing Pokemon Go ever since the app started in 2016 and also been heavily involved in playing Go Battle League ever since its inception, I believe in around 2020. Some of the things I do in preparation for this tournament is nothing special. Just try to remember to count all the Pokemon moves, and as well as knowing what is a win con for every match in the Go Battle League. What are my chances of winning this tournament? I feel that everybody has an equal chance of trying to show what Southeast Asia or Asia will be able to do, and that we do have skilled battlers in this region of the world. In particular, I feel that the trainer from Philippines, they are always very strong, and I look forward to making friends and trying to go head-on-head on battles with them in this tournament. Thank you so much.
Hi, I'm Walker from Taiwan. It's my honor to be here with some top battlers from each country. Hope everyone doing well and having some good shows to the audience. How have you been preparing for this final? Actually, I was so busy working recently, and also spare some time playing the new kit, Pokemon Brilliant Diamond, so I didn't spend too much time on it. I have discussed lineup with my friends. Hope it works. Next question. What do you feel are your chances of winning this tournament? Well, I think everyone has the equal chances to win the games, because we are all first meeting one another for the first time in the first Pokemon GO official Asia tournament. Finally, who do you think is the biggest contender in the tournament? I think Lina is one of the best players in Malaysia. He not only performs well in GBL but also in Self Arena. It would be nice to battle with him. Thank you.
And those are our first two trainers of the day. Marky, I am so excited. We haven't even started yet, and I feel my adrenaline pumping.
Yes, it is so exciting. It's literally an amazing first match because we don't know what they're going to choose first. There is no clear-cut Pokemon that they will bring out first. It is very important to get that right matchup in the beginning because it really sets the tone for the rest of the battle.
Yes.
Will the other Pokemon switch? Will they leave their Pokemon on to faint because it probably doesn't have any more effect for the rest of the battle? What will they do in the start? It's all up in the air at the moment, so we're very, very excited to find out what will happen in the first round.
Yeah, and then there's always the excitement of figuring out what's going to be purified and what's going to be a shadow Pokemon as well, right? Because you also need to take into consideration that shadow Pokemon, they do that extra damage, whereas you have purified Pokemon that have return, so you have those extra elements that you aren't aware of until you finally see that Pokemon.
Exactly, and you also have the best buddy. You don't know if a Pokemon is best buddied, meaning it'll have that extra level. It won't be level 50, it'll be level 51, so it'll have those extra defenses up. Normally, a lot of these mons in the Great League don't have that option, but there are a few. There are a select few, like Bastiodon, like Sableye, like Medicham, that do benefit from that extra level. So this is...
So before we... Oh.
Go for it.
I'm good. You keep going.
So it's interesting to note, let's talk about some of their choices of Pokemon while they set up for the first round or the first match. What we have here is a very, very interesting setup. There is a Pokemon set, for example, on Walker's side, on Ric Flair's side, that could be good options to start off with, like Sableye, Swampert, and Skarmory. They don't have too many weaknesses to start off with on Walker's side. So we don't know exactly what he will bring out first. He has three interesting options to start off with. So those guys could be good ones to start off with, as opposed to Walker, who doesn't have too many options to start off with, because a lot of them have weaknesses on Ric Flair's side. So again, it's a toss-up on what exactly Walker decides to start off with, because with that in mind, they could actually take down Ric Flair if the first Pokemon is the correct choice. And it comes down to a lot of luck as well. The luck of the draw. There's only so much you can do with meta-analysis. You just have to, once you have an idea of what to start off with, if you throw in that Pokemon to begin with and it's the wrong starter versus the person that they're fighting against, it could be a big issue.
And also going to be those mind games as well, right? Trying to get the right swaps in. Also, being able to predict what moves are going to be coming your way. If they're going to try and bait you with one of the faster charging moves, or if they're actually saving up for that big move. Are you going to swap? Do you save your shield? There's actually a lot that happens in Pokemon Go, which if you don't watch it, you would think, oh, why is this happening? It's a very strategical game, but Professor Marky, it looks like our first game is ready.
It is ready, so why don't we go for the start?
All right, Ric Flair Best going up against Walker. Round 1. Now, viewers, we are in for a best of 3 treat. So first player to get 2 victories will move on. Unfortunately, the trainer that loses is going to be eliminated. So good luck to both of these trainers, and let's get going.
And we're starting off with that Trevenant. It is not particularly the best option to start with versus that Sableye, and they both switch right in the beginning. 2 Shadow Mons out in the open. We've got that Drapion versus that Swampert on the field. No, it's not a Shadow Swampert. I was completely wrong. So that Shadow Drapion is going for that crunch, and it was able to take and hit that Swampert with a little bit of damage. Hydro Cannon misses because of a shield. It was able to shield with that crunch. That Drapion is able to do hopefully a little bit more damage to that Swampert, who did not shield that first one. Although the second one is shielded, they both have 2 shields, 1 shield down aside. Will it be able to get to the Aqua Tail? No, it does not. That Swampert is able to do an attack. That Hydro Cannon does not hit that Drapion. And an Aqua Tail coming from that Drapion side. Will it be doing enough damage? And will it be hitting that Swampert? No, it doesn't. There are no more Protect Shields on either side. What will happen here? Will it be able to get to the Aqua Tail? It does not. That Drapion will go down right away. There you go. That Drapion went down. And we have that Swampert taking control with that Trevenant on this side of Ric Flair Best. Swampert, if it has a Sludge Wave, will be able to do a lot of damage to that Trevenant, although it did not have enough charge and was able to go down on that Walker side because of that Trevenant. Now, will it be able to get to that Shadow Ball to be able to take down that Sableye on the other side? Will it be able to take it down? It hit, and it was able to do a lot of damage. Oh no, that Medicham on Walker's side will chip down at that Bastiodon quite quickly. Hopefully it gets to that Flamethrower, and it was able to get to that Flamethrower. That is a Best Buddy Bastiodon that has a very, very tanky nature. Oh, there is a little bit of a lag, but it is able to do a little bit of damage to that Medicham. There are no more shields left on the court. So that Medicham is really able to chip down at that Bastiodon real quick. Without that fighting typing, Bastiodon really has a lot of damage to take. Okay, as we can see here, we're watching from Ric Flair's side. That Medicham was able to save up for possibly an Ice Punch. And if that is an Ice Punch, it will take down, yes, it will be able to take down that Trevenant. And for the first match, Walker has taken the first match, and that is a GG. Congratulations, Region Taiwan, for taking home that first match.
That's already game 1, and whoa, that was a very exciting one. We already saw the swap from the get-go, right? Ric Flair Best,
yes,
he
we
went
did.
for an immediate swap right from the start. And I was actually a little bit worried there for Walker, because I thought the Shadow Drapion was doing a lot of damage to the Swampert and would have been able to actually chip away at the rest of Walker's team. But beautiful play. I like that he didn't use the shield the first time around. He actually decided to take the hit to see how much damage that Drapion was going to do. And then from then on, he had the advantage because he had 2 shields over Walker. Walker had 2 shields over Ric Flair's 1 shield.
Exactly. And those shields are very important. And the switches, the very first switch was quite important, especially with that Sableye and that Trevenant, because that Sableye also has that part dark typing, which means that Trevenant could not chip down that Sableye as quickly as that Sableye would have chipped down that Trevenant. So it is exciting to see what each of these players choose in the beginning. It is always a very important choice for the first Pokemon in any given situation.
So already we start to see some of the moves these Pokemon have, and also whether they're best buddies or if they're purified or if they're shadow. So what kind of alterations are we going to be seeing from Rick's side? Because if I'm not mistaken, we just saw standard Pokemon on the side of Walker's on Walker's roster. He didn't have any best buddies. He didn't have a shadow Pokemon. He didn't have a purified Pokemon.
Well, for now, from what we've seen, we don't know what's going to come up in the next round. We're going to find out in a little bit what exactly he has in store for the other 3 Pokemon that he has not chosen yet. So here we go.
Round 2. So Walker already sitting at a 1-game advantage. Rick, Flair best, needs to win these next 2 rounds if he wants to make it on through to the next stage. So we'll see if he can do it. But so far, Walker having the advantage with that 1-game victory. Let's jump into it, Professor Markey.
It is time to find out. Again, Ric Flair Best has a lot of very good options to start off with. As I said, that Sableye, Swampert, Swarmore could come out first, and they relatively don't have any big weaknesses from Walker's side. That Skarmory versus that Trevenant. Again, it's that switch in right away with that Sableye. We're watching from Walker's side with that Sableye, the purified Sableye versus a Shadow Drapion. On this particular occasion, that Drapion is neutral damaging that Sableye, while Sableye, has a potential to actually do a lot of damage if it has a return or if it has a another attack that it could have. But this is a return, and yes, that Drapion block, it knew that return was coming. Will that Sableye be blocking this Drapion's next attack? Because that Poison Sting will do a lot of damage to that Sableye. Now, that Sableye has gone down real quick, right? And we have 2 more Pokemon on Walker's side to choose from. He decided not to show his 3rd Pokemon and sent out his Swampert. Who knows what he has here? I actually think that he might obviously have a Hydro Cannon on his side. That Drapion did a lot of damage with that crunch on that Swampert there, and that switch into that Skarmory could actually give him a advantage, because a crunch or that Aqua Tail won't do too much damage, as that Skarmory is very tanky. Now we've got 2 tanks against each other. Bastiodon is a very, very, very strong against the Skarmory. Not saying that it's doing more than neutral damage, but none of Skarmory's flying attacks will do too much damage on that on that Bastiodon.
I mean, even if the Skarmory goes down here, is there a way for Walker to even get rid of the Bastiodon? Because he's just so dang tanky.
He is very tanky. Unless the Medicham comes out again to play, there is absolutely no possible chance for that Bastiodon to go down. Maybe a Swampert could take it down, but other than that, it's pretty
against 3
solid.
Pokemon?
Now we've got a Swampert still on this side. Who knows? The other ones have been chipped down at already, so there is a possibility, but I think that it's very slim. There is a slim chance that Walker wins this round. Ric Flair Best looks like he is in charge of this situation. Although that Swampert has a block, it was able to block, and it has 2 still. Hopefully it is able to get to that Hydro Cannon before that, but it was not able to. And it had to use its last block versus that Bastiodon. It is chipping down at it real quick, but it has charged up 2 Hydro Cannons, so hopefully it is able to do enough damage on that Drapion, thinking that it would block, but it did not block. And now that Swampert on Walker's side has no more shields available. And as we can see here, it's hanging on by a thread. That Swampert is hanging on by a thread, although it has enough charge to really do a lot of damage, but that shield on Ric Flair Best's side really did not allow Walker for too much to do. That Walker went down with Ric Flair Best taking home the 2nd round. So it's 1-1.
1-1, which means we're going to go to our 3rd game of the day. Congratulations to Rick for being able to tie the series, but already 3 games, Marky. I think this is a great way to start the day, right?
It is. It's an amazing thing to start the day, to just showcase the fact that both of these trainers are very strong at what they do. They have analyzed each other's teams and they know exactly what to put out, right, for the next round. And what happens is, once that happens, you have so much analysis going on that if one player wins one round and the other player wins another round, you know that they have been really playing this game for a long period of time and they understand what to come up with next. So this is very exciting to see what exactly Walker and Ric Flair will do in the next round, in the final round.
Exactly. I want to see if they bring out new Pokemon again to try and use that element of surprise to maybe turn the game into their advantage, or maybe they just have a mix and match up the Pokemon that they've shown so far so they can still have some surprises left. But what's the payoff, right? Because if you decide to keep these secrets now, you could be limiting your lineup's potential and that you don't even make it to the next round, right? It's like, what's the point of keeping secrets if you're not playing the next round?
You need to have that certain amount of mystery coming into the next round. But you know what? It's also important to win this round to be able to move on to the next round. And if you reach that third round, there isn't too much you can do to trump the opponent, because they already know a lot of your Pokemon choice and they know exactly how to take you down. And if for example you choose the same 3 Pokemon 3 times in a row, they will know how to counter you right away, right? So this is
looking at the Pokemon that both of these players have shown so far, who do you actually think has the advantage going into this third game matchup? Because element of surprise is sort of out there with most of these Pokemon that they've already shown.
Again, as what I've seen with the Ric Flair best, that Bastiodon best buddy is very, very tanky. Without that Swampert or that Medicham on the side of Walker, it is going to be hard for that Bastiodon to be taken down, especially when that Skarmory comes out into play. That it has no chance against that Bastiodon on Ric Flair's side. And for Walker's side, Azumarill has not come out yet. I think that's also because Azumarill has multiple choices that you could potentially put out for your charged attack. There's that Play Rough, there's that Ice Beam, and there's that Hydro Pump. So he maybe wants to save that for either this last round or potentially a semifinals round. So we will find out exactly what he puts out first. I think that Azumarill would be a decent first choice. Although if it goes up against that Drapion, you know, that Shadow Drapion will really chip down at Azumarill with that Poison Sting as a fast attack.
Easily.
That's quite
easily.
a strong fast attack. So, you know, it's anyone's game at the moment. Swampert could be a good choice as well, although it has to watch out for Trevenant on Ric Flair Best's side. In my opinion, Ric Flair Best at this point in time still has the advantage.
Still has the advantage. Okay.
Still has the advantage because he still has a lot of mons that are really, you know, that have a lot of resistances versus Walker's side. So he knows exactly what to come up with first. We will only find out when he releases his first Pokemon in round 3. So here we go.
Round 3 between Ric Flair Best going up against Walker. It's game 3. It's basically the end of the road for one of these trainers and a path to the semifinals for the other. We'll find out in just a moment. Is it going to be Ric Flair Best? Is it going to be Walker? Professor Marky, I think I'm going to let you take the center stage as the battle is ready to go.
Ooh, we have a Medicham. We've got Walker with that Medicham who started off versus that Drapion. It had the potential good opening. Now we have a Swampert. They both swapped in a Swampert now on Walker's side versus that Ric Flair Best, and Swampert will do a lot of damage to Ric Flair Best's side because the Hydro Cannon does charge quite quickly. It did a smart move by not blocking the first hit because that Crunch will only do a decent amount of damage to begin with. Aqua Tail also does a decent amount of damage, but it will not take down that Swampert. So that was a good choice to not waste the shield on that first Crunch. Now let's see if it is able to get at that Hydro Cannon in time to take down that pesky Drapion. Let's see, that Hydro Cannon was not able to hit, but it has taken down both shields on Ric Flair Best's side. and it also now has taken down the shield from Walker's side. Now both Pokemon trainers have no more shields to put up. It is anyone's game now. He was quite smart. Walker's side was quite smart because instead of going straight for that Hydro Cannon, he charged up a little bit just to give him a little bit more of a charge to be able to maybe do a bit of damage to the next Pokemon that Ric Flair Best will put out. So as we said a while ago, it is very smart that Walker did put out that Medicham and that Swampert, because that Bastiodon is quite pesky. It needed to have those counters in, and both Medicham and Swampert are there to really take it down. And instead of swapping, it waited, and oh no, it was not able to get to that Hydro Cannon, but now it is able to put out that Medicham, which could chip away at that Bastiodon. That Medicham with that counter will do quite a good amount of damage to that Bastiodon. It was able to get to this, I think, let's just say an Ice Punch. It is an Ice Punch. And it did so much damage on that Trevenant. It knew that that Trevenant was coming out because it knew, Walker knew that Ric Flair Best did not want to risk its trump card in the next round. So they chose the same 3 Pokemon to start off with, or basically the same 3. That, that Shadow Ball did do a lot of damage, but it was able to hang on for dear life. Walker's side, with that foul play, will take down that Trevenant for almost a GG. But we can see here that that Bastiodon is still in play versus this almost full health Medicham. So I think this might be a good game for Walker, who wins the 3rd round. Congratulations, not showing too much of your trump cards. You have gone through and gone victorious just by using these 3 awesome Pokemons. Congratulations, Walker. That Medicham, that Swampert were quite good options, especially because you knew that that Bastiodon would come out, that pesky Bastiodon, versus that Skarmory in the 2nd round was not a smart choice. So instead of taking out that Skarmory, it chose a Swampert and the Medicham, which are both incredibly effective against that Bastiodon.
Actually, one thing I also wanted to add in is that I love Walker's solution to the Shadow Drapion actually being the Swampert, because the Swampert had so much health, it could tank the crunch, it was also going to be able to go head to head with the Drapion, because outside of Swampert, I don't think he really had too many solutions to deal with the Shadow Drapion. So really good stuff from Walker, understanding that, okay, if this Shadow Drapion is going to come out, I need my Swampert to be there to take the hits.
Yes, because we know that that ground type is going to be able to take those poison stings like a champ. So that Swampert did come out and really did save the day, to be honest. With those spammed Hydro Cannons, it was able to really do a lot of damage. Easy MVP. Do a lot of damage to that Drapion and as well as that Bastiodon. So congratulations to Walker from Taiwan for taking home the first match win for the quarterfinals. And congratulations, you have moved on to the semifinals. Taiwan is the first semi-finalist. So congratulations to you, Walker. And
but trainers,
with that said,
hang on. We still have more battles coming ahead, right, Marky? That's just the first one of the day. And it honestly felt like a grand final already.
With that said, that Azumarill has not come out into play yet. So we don't know exactly what moves that Azumarill has in store at this given moment, right? So we're only going to find out when he puts that out there. But Ric Flair Best, very good job, very good choices. You had a lot of strong Pokemon that were very, very good against Walker, but unfortunately, it's an outwit, and Walker was able to do that in this particular situation, as well as luck. It was the luck of the draw. He chose the right first Pokemon. And with that said, why don't we go into the brackets to really give Walker his time in the sun.
Alright, so Walker is going to be our first Pokemon trainer to make it to the semi-final matchup, which is going to be later on today at 2 p.m. His opponent, though, will be determined in this next quarterfinal matchup. This is scheduled for 12:30 p.m. It is Black Yusun from Thailand going up against Snowflakes 27 from Indonesia. and the winner of this matchup is going to face Walker in the semi-final. I'm looking forward to this because already we're seeing, I want to say Walker essentially flexed his lineup. He didn't have to show his entire lineup. He just brought in the Pokemon he felt were necessary, and his choices were fantastic. And I'm hoping that he's going to find an equally strong opponent in either Black Yusun or Snowflakes.
Yes, because it's quite interesting to also note that a lot of these Pokemon can be just basically shown with their Pokemon name and not showing the moves. And once you actually show the name of the Pokemon, you already know exactly what moves they have with it. Like, for example, a Swampert will have, a Skarmory will have that Air Slash, and most likely Brave Bird and Sky Attack. So Skarmory, with just the name, you don't actually need to add the attack. They know this for a fact. So now why don't we go into the versus graphic to find out more about who will come up next.
Alright, it's going to be Black Yusun from Thailand going up against one of our Indonesian trainers. This one is Snowflakes 27, and the winner is going to go on to our first semi-final match. This quarterfinal match is going to be very exciting. For trainers that are just tuning in, this is going to be a best of 3 match. First trainer with 2 victories will move on through. Now, of course, the most exciting part, Pokemon that these trainers have brought in for the tournament today. Is there going to be anything exciting? Let's find out, Marky.
Let us find out. Oh, this is quite an interesting matchup. We've got some Charmers. Well, we don't know if they're actual Charmers. Alola Ninetales can run either an Ice-type fast move or a Fairy-type fast move, which is Charm. And Wigglytuff on the other side also has that Charm. And Charm really, chips down on your opponent. It's not too fast, but it is able to really chip down quickly, unless of course you have a Skarmory or you have a Pokemon that is resistant to Charm. So we're excited to see how these Charmers will do. Also, Ninetales will be very effective on Black Yusun's side with for Sableye and Shiftry. Shiftry will go down with either Charm or that fast Ice type move. Also, Skarmory will take down that Shiftry, and Wigglytuff pretty well because Skarmory is Steel type and Charm does not do too much damage on that Skarmory. Swampert on that Stunfisk is a very, very good choice because Snowflakes has a Stunfisk that Black Yusun could use to its advantage with that Swampert, so hopefully it chooses that Swampert to start off with. Scrafty will take down both Shiftry and Stunfisk on Snowflake's side, and Trevenant is also very good against that Swampert. So a Pokemon that Black Yusun has most of Snowflake's Pokemon covered. Every single one of them are basically covered. Although on Black Yusun, Snowflake's side, an optimal start would probably be Azumarill because it has a lot of neutral matchups in this particular situation. So for my side, I think that Black Yusun should put out its Azumarill as its first Pokemon. I don't know, but it also depends on them. This is up to the players. They are the ones who are choosing what will happen. Again, there are a lot of good type matchups for both sides. Swampert and Wigglytuff are very good Pokemon as well to start off with on Snowflake's side. So who knows what they're going to choose.
And who knows, we'll find out in this first round what kind of Pokemon we're going to be looking at. But before we jump into the matchup, I believe our trainers are almost ready. So before then, let's welcome Black Yusun and Snowflakes to the stream.
สวัสดีครับผมแบ็กซันนะครับเป็นตัวแทนจากประเทศไทยครับผมครับในส่วนของการเตรียมตัวในรอบนี้เนี่ยจริงๆก็ค่อนข้างจะฉุกละหุกนิดนึงนะครับเพราะว่าได้รับการติดต่อจากทีมงานมาว่าคุณเกตไม่สามารถเข้าร่วมการแข่งขันในรอบนี้ได้ก็เลยจะเป็นผมมาแทนทีนี้ในส่วนของไลน์อัพที่ผมใช้ในรอบนี้เนี่ยก็จะปรับโดยวิเคราะห์จากไลน์อัพตัวแทนของแต่ละประเทศนะครับที่ใช้ในรอบที่แล้วก็คิดว่าปรับได้ cover ได้มากที่สุดแล้วครับทีนี้ในส่วนของการเล่นก็มีการซ้อมกับเพื่อนๆซ้อมผ่านทาง GO Battle League ครับก็เพื่อให้ชินกับไลน์อัพที่จะเลือกใช้ในรอบนี้นะครับในส่วนโอกาสชนะของผมในรอบนี้จริงๆก็ค่อนข้างจะตอบยากเหมือนกันนะครับ แต่ก็จะพยายามทำให้ดีที่สุดแล้วก็หวังว่าแมตช์อัพที่เล่นในแต่ละรอบจะคิดตัดสินใจได้ถูกต้องนะครับจะพยายามครับผมในส่วนตัวเต็งของรอบนี้จริงๆผมไม่ค่อยรู้จักแล้วก็ไม่เคยเห็นสไตล์การเล่นของตัวแทนแต่ละประเทศด้วยนะครับแต่ก็มีวอลเกอร์ตัวแทนจากไต้หวันที่เป็นผู้เล่นคนหนึ่งที่น่าสนใจอยู่เหมือนกันแล้วก็มีชื่อเสียงในของไต้หวันนะครับแล้วก็อยู่สายเดียวกันด้วยถ้าเกิดชนะรอบนี้ไปได้เข้าสู่รอบเซมิไฟแนลก็มีโอกาสจะได้เจอเขาก็คิดว่าน่าจะเป็นอุปสรรคใหญ่เหมือนกันแต่ก็จะพยายามทำให้ดีที่สุดครับผมครับขอบคุณมากครับ
Okay, my name is Hendra and I come from Indonesia and my nickname is Snowflakes 27. I don't really prepare anything to be honest because kind of busy working, so maybe just preparing about the Pokemon. So yeah, no, there is no such any preparing like training hard or something like that. So yeah, I will just nothing to lose. My chances, I think, I will say maybe yes. Yeah, I will just say in optimistics. So I will say maybe it's kind of big. I don't know because I don't know the other contenders, so I cannot tell how is my chances. But according to my battles in Indonesia, so I think I have a chance, but I don't know how big or how small. Okay, I think my biggest contender is my fellow Indonesian because I don't know the others. So yeah, I will just do my best in this tournament. Okay, thank you.
And there are our trainers for our second best of 3 for today, our quarter-final matchup. Professor Markey, this is our second game. I know you're very excited. We're also looking at a lot of very neutral matchups, but I think a Pokemon we should be highlighting today is Swampert, because I believe 3 trainers so far have brought the Pokemon in, and we're seeing a lot of Swampert. Why are teams favoring the Swampert pickup so much?
Swampert is quite strong meta-wise for all 3 cups, Great League, Ultra League, and Master League. It is a very, very, very strong opponent because of that Mud Shot combined with that Hydro Cannon that can do so much damage. And of course, there is a choice. There is a choice to choose Sludge Wave or Earthquake. So sometimes you don't know what the Swampert will be running. And sometimes if you think that an Earthquake is coming and let's say you have a Grand Bull or you have a Wigglytuff and then that Sludge Wave hits, oh my gosh, it is a game changer. Swampert really is a wild card. Until you know exactly what moves it has a way of surprising. So we will only find out what Swampert has in store, both either a regular Swampert or a Shadow Swampert, or maybe even a purified Swampert if they want to run a return or they want to make it seem like they have return. So there are a lot of different options for Swampert. Trevenant is, Black Rusan's Trevenant could also be very effective against the Swampert of Snowflakes 27. So we'll only find out when the first Pokemon comes out who has the advantage.
Alright, looks like game 1 is ready for Black Yusun versus Snowflakes 27. I want to hear the chat scream for their favorite trainer, but let's jump into this matchup. Professor Markey, Black Yusun versus Snowflakes. Who will take game 1?
Yes, who will take game 1? It's up in the air. We'll only find out once that first Pokemon comes out. And as I told you, we have 2 fairies in play, one a Charmer, one a Bubble User, but as we can see here, Black Yusun is running a Play Rough, so that will do a decent amount of damage to Snowflake's side of that Wigglytuff, although that Charm, as you can see, is really, really chipping down at that Azumarill. Charm really, the good thing about Fairy types versus Fairy types is that they are neutral against each other. And as we can see here, that Wigglytuff did switch in for that Swampert on Snowflake's side. So let's see if it does have a potential to have Sludge Wave because it did go up against the Azumarill in the switch. We will only find out in a little bit. Although that Scrafty is really hanging on, it actually put up its first shield because it really wanted to save up for a potential foul play, or maybe power up and add an attack to its attack stat, or maybe just make it seem like it's going to do a foul play and do a power up punch to boost its attack stat, because power up punch really does boost the attack of Scrafty. Snowflakes knew that power up punch was going to come, and it did not shield because power up punch does not do too much damage. Hydro Cannon did not end up hitting that Scrafty. It was able to block it, but now on Black Yusun's side, there are no more shields available. Let us see now if it will put a power up punch against its opponent, and it does. And it only did a little bit damage. That charm really will take down that half fighting, half dark type real quick. So it is very important that Black Yusun switched. Luckily, it was able to switch back into that Azumarill, and it took down the last shield of Snowflakes 27. They both have no more shields left on the pitch. Let us see here what will happen when that play rough hits, and it does take down that Azumarill. There's only one choice here, and it's not that Scrafty. Black Yusun ended up choosing the correct choice and sent out that Alolan Ninetales, but it is so weak against that Galarian Stunfisk. That Galarian Stunfisk will be able to do so many rock slides. A couple of them will end up taking down that Alolan Ninetales. I think it's a GG on Snowflake's side. Snowflakes will most likely take this first round because that Scrafty will not do any damage to that Azumarill. No, sorry, to that Wigglytuff. That charm will take down that Scrafty real fast. But let's see here if it is able to really farm and add the attack stat to its Scrafty. It might be able to, but that charm really will chip down at that Scrafty. Maybe 5 charms and it will take down that Scrafty. But it's not enough. It is absolutely not enough to take down Snowflakes. Snowflakes has taken the victory in this situation. Wait, there is a chance. Oh my gosh! I didn't see the Ninetales. That was still around. Back you son. I didn't see. It was quite small for me. I didn't know that the Ninetales was still there. Oh my gosh! Wow.
I was sitting thinking, like, is it going to get rid of the Ninetales so quickly? Because you made it sound as if it was going to be in favor of Snowflakes, but Black Yusun.
Because that charm really chips down real fast. I did not know that Ninetales still had so much attack damage or so much HP left, because I knew that Scrafty was really boosting its attack, but I didn't know that it was enough to take down that Wigglytuff. Maybe if that Wigglytuff was pure fairy type, it would be a different situation, but Wigglytuff is half normal. So each of those fighting attacks are doing neutral damage as opposed to not very effective damage. So you know what? That is how exciting these games can be. It'll turn around in a snap of a finger. Sometimes you
just
don't
gotta
know.
do those very smart swaps. I mean, the swap from using the charge move on the Alolan Ninetales and then immediately swapping to the Scrafty to also use a second charge move, I feel, to remove the Galarian Stunfisk. That was chef's kiss. It was such a good play because you wanted to get as much damage off on that Galarian Stunfisk, right? Because that was essentially the wall blocking Black Yusun from that victory. So once it was removed, it was like, okay, now it's the Wigglytuff. This one's not as tanky. Maybe we can take it down. So just the plays from Black Yusun's side, superb.
So good job, Thailand. You have taken down the first round. That is excellent gameplay, and we will find out what will come up next in a little bit. But you know what? That Scrafty versus that charm user on the other side, Wigglytuff, is probably not a smart choice. Maybe coming in, if that Wigglytuff comes out again, you know, Scrafty will go down in 5 charms, possibly 4, depending on the IVs. So it's quite exciting to see what Snowflakes has in store now, because that was such a close game,
Very, very close. But
very close.
the action doesn't end there, trainers. We're going to be jumping into game 2 in just a moment. It is between Black Yusun from Thailand going up against Snowflakes 27 from Indonesia. Now, currently, Black Yusun having a 1-game victory over Snowflakes will just need one more win to make it to the semifinals. Whereas for Snowflakes to come back, he needs those 2 wins. Can he do it?
And it's the same starter. We've got 2 fairies. Again, we've got Black Yusun still focused. We've got that Azumarill, that fairy type Azumarill, who's running actually an Ice Beam and a Play Rough in this situation. So let's see if it is able to hit with that Ice Beam. It's not a stab, because if it had gone for the Play Rough, it would have been the stab. But I think it thought that Wigglytuff would shield, but it did not shield. It was able to take it like a champ.
Last round it shielded.
It did. Last round, it did shield. And this Ice Beam will do a little bit of neutral damage to that Swampert, and will be able to do a decent amount of damage to take down and chip down at that Swampert, because it could potentially have, a Sludge Wave or an Earthquake. And that Sludge Wave is devastating, taking down Black Yusun's first Azumarill, which is quite a tank to start off with. Here we go. We have got the Alolan Ninetales out versus that. There is a little bit of a lag. It happens. The internet tends to lag at times, but because even if there's a lag, it still registers, and was able to take down that Swampert on the other side real quick.
Yeah,
Now,
so it
we
seems
have
like the
that-
Alolan Ninetales is a fantastic solution for Swampert, right? Because it does some pretty good damage against him.
It does pretty good neutral damage, especially with the Powder Snow, as opposed to the Charm. It'll do quicker damage, but it won't do as substantial damage as Charm would have done. Now, as we can see here, this Weather Ball, which is an Ice type, will do a decent amount of damage, which is a neutral amount of damage to that Skarmory. Unless that Skarmory has a Flash Cannon, it will also be doing neutral damage to that Alolan Ninetales. And that Skarmory knew exactly that it needed to shield, because it is the tank on Snowflake's side. It needed to stay on the pitch for the other mons to come out, because it knew that probably a Scrafty would come out. And as you can see here, just a couple of charms will really chip down at that Scrafty. It will really take it down. But last ditch effort, it was able to do one last attack. But it did take down that Wigglytuff. It was able to take it down, but it doesn't have enough damage. It doesn't have enough HP left to sustain itself versus that Skarmory. Although Black Yusun does have one more shield left, and there is a potential that Alolan Ninetales will be able to do 2 Weather Balls in a row, and therefore take down that Skarmory. If that Skarmory has enough, which it does, it was able to charge 2 Sky Attacks in a row, and will be a GG, taking down Black Yusun for 1 round apiece. Black Yusun with around rounds, Snowflakes 27 with a round as well. So we are going into the 3rd and final round.
Congratulations to Snowflake on his first victory of this series. So again, we're going to 3 games, Marky. But we saw a lot of wonderful plays in that matchup, and I feel in particular the swap into Wigglytuff to counter that Scrafty swap just eliminated the Scrafty. Scrafty couldn't do anything. Like, sure, he eliminated the Wigglytuff finally, but it was already weakened earlier on by the Azumarill.
That 4 times weakness is no joke. Like, that's what, in my opinion, why did he bring out that Scrafty? Although Scrafty does do a lot of damage on the other side. I mean, Scrafty is good against that Stun Fist and that Shiftry, if that Shiftry did come out. But it's also that Wigglytuff that is so scary and was already chosen before. Again, these individuals are trying to save their Pokemon for later rounds. If they're able to win in 2 rounds, the less opportunity for the other opponents to find out what they're up against move-wise, because the moves are not shown in this particular situation. So,
yeah, and I also don't blame them too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't blame them because it's like if you don't bring the Wigglytuff and the Scrafty comes out, I feel like that Pokemon is just going to go completely off because you don't really have anyone else that's going to be able to tank it. And then
Exactly.
if you don't bring the Scrafty, then where's most of the damage coming from? I feel like the fact that Black Yusun's bringing the Scrafty again, it almost feels like he has to try and force Snowflake's hand.
Exactly. So it's very interesting how this whole gameplay is coming into play, and it's funny how Snowflakes does not have Alolan Ninetales on its team because he is Snowflakes. So okay, let's go into the round 3 versus graphic to find out what their first Pokemon choices will be again.
Are we going to be seeing any returning Pokemon, or are we going to be seeing some new faces on the board? We'll only be able to find out, but I suspect the Scrafty and Wigglytuff, these two are probably going to have to come back again. It's almost like if Snowflakes doesn't bring the Wigglytuff, you're leaving a huge gaping hole in your composition.
Yes, so that half normal typing on that Wigglytuff on Snowflake's side, it is not going to suffer too much from that Shadow Claw on that Trevenant side, on Black Yusun side. But it will do a lot of damage with that Seed Bomb because the Wigglytuff for neutral damage is not exactly the most tanky. It does take a lot of damage as well. So Seed Bomb will be able to chip down real quickly at that Wigglytuff. So it was able to really understand that and keep that into play, maybe forcing that shield from that Wigglytuff, and is able to go in stronger with the Shadow Swampert on Black Yusun's side. And now, as we can see here, that Swampert did block because it is a little bit glassy as it is a Shadow variant. So it knew that it needed to use its shield and utilize it the correct way. It needs to get to these Hydro Cannons real quick to be able to make use of taking down that Wigglytuff. So now that Wigglytuff is gone, and it is Swampert versus a Swampert, and as we know that Scrafty knew that it needed to come out because that Wigglytuff is no longer in play, but it did not know that there was also a Skarmory in tow, and we know that Flying type is 2 times effective versus that Scrafty. Unfortunate choice with that Scrafty. He actually decided to take it out again, and Snowflakes knew that there is a potential that Scrafty would come out again. Therefore, it did find 2 possible counters, which is the Skarmory in the back, as well as that Wigglytuff. Let's see
is
if
it
this
going to
foul
be an
play-
issue though?
Is it going to be an issue? We will find out right now. It won't be a charm attack, but wow, it was able to take down that Skarmory with the foul play, but Snowflakes does still have 1 more shield left. So what Swampert is trying to do now is it is trying to really take down that Scrafty and leave it to that final Shadow Swampert, giving Snowflakes 27 the win, in my opinion. It is a win. It is a GG. Congratulations to Snowflakes 27 from Indonesia. You have moved on to the semifinals round. It is such a feat, especially coming from the first loss from the first round and then winning the second and third. I remember the first round was really, really close as well. So congratulations to Snowflakes 27. It is no joke the fact that Indonesia has brought in 2 of their finest players. We know that the Indonesians do not play. They really play to
They play
win.
rough.
They don't play to lose. They play rough to win. With especially, but they did not. Interestingly enough, Snowflakes did not have play rough on its Azumarill and did not have an Azumarill. It didn't need to play rough. They just Shadow Clawed and returned to victory, right?
I loved that Snowflake showed so much respect to the Scrafty pick. Like, he understood that if this Pokemon comes out, for all we know, maybe Scrafty was going to be benched this round. Who knows? But if the Scrafty came out and he didn't have ways to deal with it, that it probably would have been game over for him. So the fact that he respected it this round and said, okay, you know what? I'm going to show my card that my Wigglytuff has been knocked out and make you think it's safe to bring out that Scrafty. but I have my
Yes.
secondary card in the Skarmory.
Which
so
is the
it's
Skarmory.
those mind games, right? Those mind games can really shift the game in your favor.
Yes, it can, and it was really interesting to see because Black Yusun could have chosen a different Pokemon for their first 3 choices, but they kept sticking to the ones that they've already shown because they did not want to show their trump cards for the semifinals round if they had made it, but unfortunately they did not make it. So that Scrafty was played in vain. But before anything, why don't we go to a little break before we find out what's going to go on in the next quarterfinals round.
We'll see you after this.
Pokémon GO 5th Anniversary.
Hello Pokemon trainers and welcome back to the playoffs of the Pokemon GO Tournament. We've just finished 2 of our quarterfinal matches and we have 2 more to go before we move on to the next stage, which will be the semi-final round. We've got 2 trainers waiting for their next matchup, but before then, Professor Markey, quarterfinals, we still have 4 trainers waiting to decide their fates.
Yes, and it's quite exciting because this next round, before we go into that, is, a little Danley versus Markey kind of setup. We got Malaysia versus the Philippines. So this is going to be quite a fun match. This is like, for the which host comes out victorious, even if we aren't playing. We're going to be like rooting for which one, which one of the regions we represent will be winning. So now let's go into the brackets to find out more about what's going to happen in the next 2 quarterfinals round.
Right, so our next matchup, it's going to be Shin Lina 86 from Malaysia going up against Ikiyoshi from the Philippines. It's our 3rd quarterfinal match of the day, and it's going to be an exciting one. So far, we've had 2 games that went all the way to 3 games, and I'm wondering if we're looking at the same thing because remember, folks, we're looking at the best trainers within Southeast Asia. This is the best of the best that each region has produced, and let's be real, Marky, these games so far, they have been, a treat to watch.
They have. Now you can actually see some of the best players and how they have changed their strategies. It's not the fact that they're winning 2 and they're beating out the other opponent with just two matches and then in the end moving on right away. We are going into 3 rounds before the match wins.
Yes.
So these guys are some of the best in the region, and now we are going to see how Malaysia fares against the Philippines. Shin Lina 86 versus Ikiyoshi. Now let's see. Right now, these 2 amazing players.
Correct. So I've got Shin Lina 86. He's my horse in the race, whereas I know you have Ikiyoshi. He's also from the Philippines, but Marky, I need to ask you, do you know Ikiyoshi at all? Because I know that you are familiar with some of the players that play Pokemon Go within your region.
Interestingly enough, I know of him, but I've never actually met him. I've never had a conversation with him. He lives up north. Actually, he's a good friend of the first person to reach level 50 in the Philippines.
Interesting.
This is quite exciting to see what he has learned from this individual who reached level 50. Now, this is where it gets interesting because we find out what Pokemon they have in play and in tow.
Hello.
So, on Shin Lina's side, that Trevenant will be very effective against the Azumarill, the Medicham, the Hypno. Medicham, on the other hand, will be really effective against that Galarian Stunfisk and that Lickitung of that Ikiyoshi. Although that Lickitung with that Lick could chip down at that Medicham as well. Ninetales The Galarian Ninetales, interestingly enough, will do a decent amount of damage on that Sableye, especially if it's Charmed. Because we know that Sableye is only weak to Fairy typing if it's Charmed. But it could also be Powder Snow, so who knows what fast move will be chosen on this occasion. Also, that Ninetales with Charm could also be very effective against that Medicham. Stunfisk is neutral to most of Ikiyoshi's choices, so it could be a good choice to start off with that Stunfisk. Noctowl, on the other hand, could do neutral damage on that Sableye, and that Medicham, those flying type attacks could do a lot of damage on the Medicham. Swampert against that Stunfisk is also a good choice. On Ikiyoshi's side, on the other hand, Azumarill will be very, very good. It will, with Play Rough, will be very good against Medicham, and with Hydro Cannon, will be good against Galarian Stunfisk. Galarian Stunfisk on Ikiyoshi's side will be also quite effective against that Ninetales, as you saw before on one of the previous matches. The Galarian Stunfisk and its Rock Slide will be able to really chip down at that Ninetales because it is spammable, as well as that Noctowl. Sableye is also very, very effective. We've seen a couple of matches where that Sableye goes up against the Trevenant and comes out victorious. But also that Seed Bomb is unpredictable. So who knows what will happen. Sableye versus that Medicham will also do a lot of damage. Medicham versus Galarian Stunfisk will chip down at it. Hypno is also neutral to that Medicham. And that Lickitung and that Trevenant matchup will also be exciting to watch because Ghost type is not good against that normal typing. So a good opener, in my opinion, for Ikiyoshi's side would probably be a good Sableye or Swampert opener. And Lina would probably be Trevenant for a good opener. So that is my opinion. We will see what happens. Let us go into the intros of these amazing individuals.
Hello everyone, I'm Lina86 and I'm from the region of Malaysia. How have I been preparing? To be honest, I haven't done any sort of preparation since the last group stage of this tournament. Because normally for Pokemon Go PvP, I don't generally practice. I just go about with doing researching online strategies and all that sort, and then maybe put into practice when I join different tournaments. So when it comes to this specifically, I didn't practice for it at all. I'm just gonna put faith in the team that I've already set and my current skill level to carry me throughout the tournament. This one is a bit hard to ascertain because when I took a look at the participants,
and I think he already has a lot of experience in battling and in tournaments. That's all. Thank you very much.
And that's our two players for this matchup. And I know Professor Markey was a little bit breathless after his analysis of these two lineups, but it is very curious, for us at least, we'd be very curious to see what kind of openings we're going to be expecting, if we might be looking at some very unexpected maneuvers, and also the possibilities of Shadow Pokemon, Purified Pokemon, and if anyone has any Best Buddies, because we have seen one trainer rocking a Best Buddy, but Best Buddies are pretty hard to come by. Yeah.
A Bestiadon. Oh, there you go.
A Bestiadon.
A Bestiadon. Oh, the puns are going to come. And what's interesting to see here is it's also because it's Malaysia versus the Philippines, which is a fun little competition that the hosts have against the other. Although, even if we have our own picks, I also really want to see the strength of Lina and what he has to offer. And he has a lot to offer. It is scary for both sides because they're both very, very smart players. And only time can tell which one will be throwing out the correct Pokemon as their starter choice.
Exactly. So while we wait for the trainers to get ready, I do believe they're almost prepared. But Marky, I think aside the nationalities of the players, aside from everything that we've seen, just looking at the Pokemon, who do you feel has an advantage in this matchup?
In my opinion, not being partial, but Ikiyoshi has two possible choices to start off with. In my opinion, if I were to play with these Pokemon, I would probably start with a Sableye or a Swampert or opener, as opposed with Lina, who has a good Medicham as a good opener as well. So let's find out what they start off with, because in the end of the day, it is your first Pokemon that really dictates the round and how it will go. So there we go.
Correct.
Lina 86 from Malaysia versus Ikiyoshi from the Philippine region. So the two regions will go up head to head against each other to find out who will become victorious and move on to the second set of semifinalists. Now we've got
battle's
that
begun.
Galarian Stunfisk on one side versus that purified Sableye on the other side. So let's see here. There is a foul play coming out from that Sableye. There is a little bit of a lag. And there was a switch that just happened. That Shadow Hypno has come out on Ikiyoshi's side, coming up against that Trevenant, and that Trevenant's Shadow Claw will really chip down at that Shadow Hypno, because even if Hypno is a very, very tanky, a Shadow variant is a little bit less tanky than the Hypno because it is Shadow. So let's see if this Trevenant on Lina's side will be able to hit that Hypno with a lot of damage and take down that Hypno. And Ikiyoshi probably thought that Seed Bomb was coming out, but it was that Shadow Ball. Although it did save up, it did know that probably if that Pokemon went down, it would be fine for Ikiyoshi. That Sableye did block because it knew that Shadow Ball would potentially come out, and now it's two Pokemon aside from Ikiyoshi and Lina, and they also have one shield left apiece. We've got a Galarian Stunfisk versus a Galarian Stunfisk. We don't know if it's going to be an Earthquake coming out or a Rock Slide, because the Rock Slide won't... Oh, no, sorry. Galarian Stunfisk versus that Sableye. And that Earthquake really took down that Sableye quite quickly. I thought it was two Stunfisk versus each other for some weird reason. But here we go.
Alright.
That Noctowl could potentially do a lot of damage if it hits with the Stab Sky Attack. And it did a decent amount of damage. Azumarill is also quite tanky, so it is able to take a lot of damage from Lina's side with that Noctowl coming in. A little spicy choice. I've seen Noctowl played more often these days. Let's see if it reaches possible, who knows, Shadow Ball could also do quite a lot of damage. Noctowl is also hanging on for a little bit of its dear life, because Ikiyoshi could use, it could use an Ice Beam, and that Ice Beam could take down that Noctowl if it does have that Ice Beam in play.
It doesn't seem like it though, right? It's like,
yes,
so far
because
he's
of the
only
ice.
really used
Because
play
the
rough.
Ice Beam. Yes, because the Ice Beam is faster to charge, so it would
Yeah.
probably be the better option. So it probably has an Hydro Pump at the end, which is what Lina is probably thinking at this point in time. If this is a Shadow Ball, it will do a little bit more damage than
I think that's
the Sky Attack.
That's it.
And
I think
as
that's
we
gonna
can
be
see
it,
here, I
Monkey.
think that's going to be it. The Lina has taken the first round of the quarterfinals 3. So congratulations, Malaysia. You have gone forth and beat the Philippines in the first round. Congratulations,
Yes!
Lina 86.
National
Good
pride. But congratulations to
National
Lina.
pride.
Yeah, I think Lina,
Yeah.
he just did a fantastic job with his lineup. The swaps were on point. I really underestimated the effectiveness of Noctowl. At first, I was thinking like, okay, what is this Noctowl really going to do? But it had a lot of health to work with. It was able to actually do very well against the Azumarill. And I love the way that he sort of played around the Azumarill, thinking, okay, does this have Ice Beam? And he didn't block the first time. Maybe he was anticipating that there could have been an ice beam in the back, or maybe he was trying to break the shield. So he didn't block the first time. Blocked the second time, I think, just to be safe. And then once he saw that it wasn't an Ice Beam, I think that's confirmation to say that, okay, my Noctowl is going to be a really good matchup for that Azumarill.
Yeah, exactly. So it's quite interesting to see that now that Azumarill in Ikiyoshi's side, the cards are laid out for it now. We know that there's a Hydro Pump in the end. Unless, who knows, he's still saving that Ice Beam for
He's
another
been saving
another
it for
day.
game 2.
He is saving it for game 2. Who knows, right? But that, you know what? I think it was also that Trevenant. When that Trevenant came out, it was really that GG versus that Shadow Hypno. Because we know that Shadow Claw will really chip down at the Shadow. Even if the Hypno does have a lot of HP, it will go down real quick with those Ghost type fast attacks of that Trevenant. regardless of it being Shadow Ball or Seed Bomb, it will do a lot of damage to the Shadow variant in any way, shape, or form. Shadow variants are very strong. They're very physical attack or special attack. We don't have really a physical or special in Pokemon Go. Just it's very attack oriented as well. But it also has a lot of, don't underestimate Hypno, because it also has a lot of tank to it, even if it's a shadow form. So in this next round, we will find out if that Hypno can actually come back and, you know, do it justice without having to see that Trevenant come into play again. So let's go into the round 2.
So far, we've seen 3 games from our first 2 quarterfinal matchups. I think Ikiyoshi can do it. I think we're going to be looking at a 3-game series today, Marky.
Well, we can only hope. We can only hope, right? So, as I said a while ago, Ikiyoshi does have a good starting choice for Sableye and Swampert, but because of that, Lina could actually find a Pokemon that could go and be the, you know, a counter to that. And they had to bring the exact same Pokemon in, unfortunately, and that swap again was... Oh, do you not learn, Ikiyoshi? Do you not learn? Yes, I know there's Malaysia, but like the thing is, it's the same thing that is happening. This is the Trevenant versus that Hypno again, and that Hypno is chipping down at that Trevenant at a good amount of speed, but there is a little bit of a lag, to be completely honest, and that Hypno has gone down.
Marky, maybe, okay, so I know you're not a big fan of this Hypno versus the Hypno versus Trevenant matchup, but what if this is intentional from Ikiyoshi to say that, okay, I'm bringing the Hypno, but it's because I want you to bring the Trevenant? Is there any benefit to this?
Ideally, in certain rematches, it is possible to play the same Pokemon because it is only fair, right? So in this situation, sometimes there are lags in the game, and we have to understand that. And sometimes rematches do happen. And with that said, this is exactly what happened in this situation. They know that these are the 3 Pokemon that were chosen, and it's the same ones that were played in the previous set. So there's only so much you can do, and so much you can switch in. So this Noctowl is coming in with that Sky Attack, and it didn't do too much damage on that Azumarill. And we have another Swampert with Lina's side. It could potentially be doing a Hydro Cannon or Sludge Wave. But Sludge Wave will do a lot of damage to that. Yes, to that Azumarill. And yeah, there was a little bit of a lag, and unfortunately, there's not much we can do when the lags do happen. That Hydro Cannon did come out, as we said. That Hydro Cannon did come out. Initially, we thought it would have been an Ice Beam, but it wasn't. So now we know that there was the Hydro Cannon there at the back. And finally, that Sableye is that last choice to go up against that Swampert. That Swampert has been saving up this Hydro Cannon to do a little bit of damage to that Sableye. Although there was that shield left. Fortunately, Hydro Cannon does charge quite quickly, so Lina 86 is going to do a lot of damage to that Sableye, and I think this might be that GG that we were all considering from the very beginning, especially from that switch in, that same switch in with that Sableye and that Hypno. And there you have it. I think this is a GG. Lina has won effectively and beaten that Ikiyoshi for that. You use those Pokemon and utilize them correctly. Let us go into the brackets and find out who will be competing next and who are already in the semifinals. Take it away, Danley.
I got your back there, Marky. Our 4th quarterfinal matchup of the day, it's going to be B-Bobby from Indonesia going up against Arbiter from Hong Kong. And the winner of this matchup is going to play up against Lina 86 later today at 2:30 p.m. Now, this final quarterfinal matchup, I'm excited to see what kind of Pokemon these trainers are bringing. And I want to know, is this going to be somebody that's going to actually give Lina an issue, right? Because Lina, I hate to say it, Marky, but he swept that series easily from Ikiyoshi. And I'm wondering if it's because of his Pokemon, or if it's because of the way that he approached battles, or if there's something else, if there's another element that we're not looking at. But I'm looking forward to seeing B Bobby play because we already saw how good Snowflakes is. So if you have someone as good as Snowflakes make it through to the semifinals, clearly B Bobby is someone we're going to have to look at too.
Yes, Indonesia's second player, B-Bobby, is going up against Arbiter from Hong Kong. So first time we're seeing Hong Kong playing in the Pokemon GO Tournament. So who knows what Arbiter has in store for us today. It is quite interesting to see what teams they have today. So without further ado, why don't we go check out their team?
Oh, I know you are very excited to take a look at the Pokemon, Professor Marky, because I know that you love to analyze the Pokemon, the synergies and matchups. But here we go. Here are the Pokemon that we are going to be looking at. And we've got some new faces here, Marky. Wow.
We've got some new mons coming into play. We've got that Abomasnow, which is quite interesting.
Especially Arbiter.
Side.
I want to say
And what's
Arbiter's
funny is-
lineup looks super interesting.
Yes, Arbiter's lineup. He has this interesting Abomasnow that can come into play. Who knows if it's a shadow form or a regular or a purified form, but up against that Altaria on Arbiter's side, or sorry, on B-Bobby's side, it will do so much damage. But we also know Sky Attack from Altaria is super effective against the grass type of Abomasnow, so it's a double-headed sword to take out that Abomasnow versus the Altaria. Although Abomasnow will do a lot of damage to Trevenant, which is an MVP for a lot of teams today. Abomasnow will also do a lot of damage with that Energy Ball versus Azumarill, right? So, you know, Abomasnow is quite a good choice in this particular situation. Nidoqueen as well, from Arbiter's side, could do a lot of damage to that Azumarill, Nidoqueen. And Sableye will really do chipping damage to that Medicham, and you know that we've seen a lot of Sableye and Trevenant matchups, and Sableye usually comes out victorious. Swampert as well, see what Lickitung can do against this Trevenant. On BBLB side, on the other hand, Azumarill will be a good neutral start off, but watch out for that Nidoqueen with that fast poison type attack. Stunfisk will also do a lot of damage with that Rock Slide with Abomasnow. Trevenant, again, watch out for Trevenant, Arbiter, because it will do a lot of damage to your Swampert and Medicham. Altaria will also do a lot of damage on that Medicham. That Medicham is scary to take out at the moment because of the Altaria and the Trevenant. Medicham, on the other hand, will also do wonders versus Abomasnow and that Lickitung. So who knows if it is a gamble to put out that Medicham. Bastiodon is also a good neutral to put out, although you gotta watch out for that Swampert and that Medicham if Arbiter decides to take those out. There's a lot of similar Pokemon on both sides. So for me, in my opinion, if I were to start off, this is just me, okay? But a good starter for B-Bobby would be Sableye or Nidoqueen. And for Arbiter's side, a good one would be a lot of its Pokemon will cover a lot of B-Bobby's weaknesses, so it all depends on choices. Again, it's all about your first Pokemon choice. If you get the right lucky Pokemon to start with, you will be safe to sail the entire round. So let's find out what will happen in this first round.
All right, I'm going to let you catch your breath there, Professor Marky. But before the match begins, our trainers are ready. Let's introduce B-Bobby and Arbiter to all of our viewers.
Halo, nama saya Bobby. Saya perwakilan dari Indonesia. ID saya B-Bobby. Yang saya sudah persiapkan untuk final kali ini yaitu jaga kesehatan, jaga mental, sama perbanyak latihan dengan teman-teman yang dari Indonesia. Untuk turnamen kali ini, saya optimis menang karena sudah mengalahkan ratusan player dari Indonesia menjadi wakil 2 Indonesia. Tentu saja optimis menang. Untuk lawan terberat saya kali ini, saya jujur masih buta dengan 6 peserta lainnya yang dari negara lain. Yang saya tahu hanya Snowflakes dari Indonesia, dan dia sudah memenangkan beberapa kali turnamen di Pokémon GO Indonesia. Mungkin itu akan jadi lawan berat saya di final nanti.
Greetings everyone. I'm RBWTF Hill, or you may also call me Arbiter. So I'm the representative of Hong Kong in this Pokemon Go competition. So nice to meet you all. So I have been playing Pokemon Go for since the game launch. Has launched. But I have stopped playing for 1 year due to some personal reason, and then I come back and join the PvP, and later we also have the GBL there. Okay, so personally, I'm also a teacher who teach economics there. Okay, so how have I been prepared for the grand final? So basically, I've never managed that I can come to this far. Yeah, because I feel that I'm a bit of lucky there. So maybe during the regional competition, I seems that I get some good lead, or maybe my opponent makes some mistakes. That's why I could come here. Yeah. So I didn't do much to prepare. So what I do is I discuss with my friends about my team combination, and also have some training with them, and also try some new teams in the Holiday Cup to get myself familiar with my team there. Okay. So any chance to get to be winning? Well, I'm really not confident because I know my skill is not as skillful as the others. Also, my team comp is not that. You can see it's not quite the so-called meta pick there. I really like to use some not spicy, but some Pokemon that I have preference with. So I will try my best anyways. Yeah. So. And I think that all my competitors, okay, in the grand final are very skillful. And also from what I've seen, the team they use in the regional competition, the team are very balanced and also very strong, and they can cover the weakness of each Pokemon by themselves. I think that they all are very, very skillful there. And some of them I've seen they are actually the legend player from season 9. So, well, I really don't have confidence to beat them, but I will enjoy the game, and I hope everyone will enjoy the show there. Okay, and I hope that more people would play the Go GBL there, because I think PvP in Pokemon Go is really, really interesting. Yeah. So that's all for my self intro. Thank you.
I swear, Marky, you're just like, oh my god.
Well, I mean, you can cut if
so
you.
much.
Sorry, but yeah, there's just I just have so many notes.
It's fine. It's okay. I have like other stuff I want to ask you anyway before the match begins, so it's okay.
Okay.
And those are our two trainers that are going to be competing in our final quarterfinal matchup before we move on to semis. Now, Marky, we've already seen a couple of interesting Pokemon from their lineup, some brand new ones that we haven't seen today that could shake things up a little bit. But there's one Pokemon in particular I want to talk about. You might be expecting this because it is one of my favorite Pokemon, the Altaria. Now, something I find rather unique today is that I think Altaria is the only Dragon-type Pokemon that has actually shown up. And I need to ask you, what's happened with the absence of Dragon types? Why are trainers just not picking Dragon Pokemon anymore?
Dragon types are quite scary to choose because of Charm. As you have seen, the power of Wigglytuff and the power of probably Alolan Ninetales with Charm, it will chip down quickly at those Dragon types. Altaria also runs Dragon Breath, and if it is switched in, for example, and you put out a Wigglytuff, or you put out a Charm Ninetales, Alolan Ninetales, then it's a GG for that Altaria. It will not be able to do too much damage to those fairy types. Although Altaria is the best choice for Dragon, as well as Dragonair. Dragonair can also be used, but we haven't seen him played at all in this round, but it's also a good choice to have. But Altaria, you should watch out for, because it is something that is in the meta and has been in the meta since the very beginning of Go Battle League. So let's see here, B-Bobby from Indonesia versus Arbiter from Hong Kong. What were you saying? Damn it.
I'm just saying, I'm hoping to see some of that Altaria play, because we've been seeing a lot of grass-type Pokemon pop up because of the Swampits, right? Because it's got flying moves, it's going to be effective against the Trevenants that we've seen. So we'll have to find out. But for now, the battle has begun, Maki, and it's a mirror
It's a
matchup
mirror.
with Medicham.
It's a mirror Medicham match, and the thing about Medicham is it's quite exciting because there are different sets that you can run. So let's see if they're running identical sets, although one is a shiny and one is not a shiny. But I think they might be running identical sets. Although there is a real quick shift. There is a quick shift for that. Abomasnow is now out for that Arbiter, and that Azumarill is out for Bobby. So here we go. That Energy Ball could do a lot of damage, but that Ice Beam does do a lot of neutral damage to that Abomasnow. And as we can see here, it's a Shadow Abomasnow, so it does have less defenses, but it is much stronger. So if this Energy Ball attacks and hits, it will do a lot of damage to that Azumarill, and not just that, lower the defense of that Azumarill. And just in time, because it does charge quite quickly, that Shadow Abomasnow on Arbiter's side was able to also put out a nice Weather Ball as well. So as we can see here, hopefully, will it block? I don't think it does block, but it knows that Abomasnow did what it needed to do. So now it will switch into a different Pokemon to take out that Soul Tank of Azumarill on BB's side. So now we've got that Medicham, which will probably be able to well, it was switched from that Medicham, and you know, sometimes when you switch in and switch into another Pokemon right away, you are tricking the opponent and really like trying to figure out if Arbiter will do something different, if it already had a charged attack set. And it didn't.
Yeah.
He didn't fall for it. So now that purified Sableye is really chipping down at that Stunfisk, at that Galarian Stunfisk. But let's see here if it blocks, and it was smart enough to block that Earthquake. That Earthquake would have been, you know, disastrous to the gameplay of that Sableye. So here we go. That purified Sableye on Arbiter's side will possibly do a foul play. I don't know if it has return because of that white cloud around it. It showcases that it is a purified Sableye, and the return is sometimes run for that. So let's see if that Earthquake comes into play, but no, it's just a Rock Slide, so it's only able to do a little bit of damage. That purified Sableye on Arbiter's side is now doing another foul play, and it is able to take down that Galarian Stunfisk on Bobby's side. And oh no, that Shadow Claw will really chip down at that Medicham, and it was able to get to that foul play. And of course, without the shield, that Medicham does take a lot of neutral damage from that foul play on the side of Arbiter. And it's only, you know, if that Ice Punch is able to hit, that Sableye is taken down. That Medicham, although that Medicham on Arbiter's side had that Psychic ready to go, doing neutral damage on that Medicham on Bobby's side, winning it for Arbiter, Hong Kong, first round, female avatar. Hey, good on you. Good on you.
That was already just some fantastic matchups for our final quarterfinal matchup, and Maki, I'm honestly very impressed. I was thinking, okay, normally during these rounds you're gonna get a lot of 2-0s, but I think we're gonna be looking at a 3-game ending today for this one.
Yeah, it might be a 3-game ending because you know they are playing some similar picks. They started off with Medicham versus Medicham because they knew.
I love the mirror matchup. I thought that was brilliant, and having one shiny and one standard Medicham.
Yeah, and they are running Ice Punch. And, you know, on Arbiter's side, he probably could have guessed that an Altaria would have come out on the other side with that Dragon Breath. But with that Ice Punch, you know, it's tricky because it can take down that Altaria quite quickly because it charges quite fast. Also, that Sableye did quick damage on the other side. It was doing well for Arbiter for a little bit. So, good job on that Sableye. Although, for me, it is that Medicham that charged everything in the very beginning. It didn't let anything out, but at the very end, it knew that it already had enough charge to take down Bobby at the final blow when it was Medicham versus Medicham again.
So what kind of changes are we going to be expecting for this next matchup? Because of course, this is essentially going to be one game to either victory, or we could be looking at a third game. What changes are we going to be expecting to maybe see a 1-1 tie to force that third game?
I don't know, with that Arbiter's Medicham being quite an MVP. Let's see how B-Bobby decides to maybe choose Altaria to counter that, or
Think so?
potentially, I don't know, an Altaria could be a choice, or Trevenant could come out. But also Trevenant is scary to throw out there with that Shadow Abomasnow pending. Because just with those quick powder snows, it could really take a lot of damage for that Trevenant on the Bobby
and
side.
being Shadow as well, right? Like, additionally being Shadow on top of having the type advantage, that's a lot of damage that you're going to have to either just cop and accept, or just say that let's not take the risk, let's just pick other Pokemon and try and maintain either neutral or not so effective damage.
Although the HP and defense of that Abomasnow are significantly decreased, therefore if it goes up against the Medicham, for example, on B-Bobby's side, if the type advantage happens that they are both stuck with Abomasnow on Arbiter's side and B-Bobby has that Medicham on his side, that Abomasnow could go down real quick, because those counters build up, and that Ice Punch also will do quite a significant amount of damage, and that Psychic as well. They're both neutral, but they will pack a blow, so we can watch out for that as well. That Bastiodon would be an interesting choice as well to come out on B-Bobby's side, because that will also really quickly chip down at Abomasnow, especially in its Shadow form. So again, this is the first time we're seeing Abomasnow, especially the Shadow version. So let's see what else Arbiter can do in the next round.
Alright, looks like game 2 is almost ready here. It's B-Bobby versus Arbiter. Is it going to be a 2-0? Are we going to tie the series 1-1? It's going to be down to our trainers to determine our fates as viewers as well as theirs. Now, Marky, game is about to begin. I'm going to let you take this away. Pokemon trainers tuning into the broadcast, enjoy game 2.
Yes, as I said, that Abomasnow came out right away. Scary for that Altaria. Now we've got our Arbiter's view. We have a Sableye that is out against that Medicham on B-Bobby's side, and Sableye will really quickly chip down at that Medicham, as that Shadow Claw is super effective against it, while that neutral damage counter will also do a decent amount of damage to that Sableye. But let's see if the foul plays are going to come out, or a return is going to come out in this situation. And as we can see here, it will do a decent amount of damage to that Medicham. But before it is able to do its second attack, its second foul play in succession, it was able to get hit by that Ice Punch, and it blocked it. So now another foul play will come into play. Let's see here, unless, of course, he is able to charge another foul play. So now he has 2 foul plays in tow. Let's see if both of these hit, and he is able to take down that Medicham and still has 1 more foul play. So now he's tapping, as you can see on the screen. He's tapping because whatever comes out next, hopefully that foul play comes and he's able to hit before. Oh, what is gonna happen here versus that Azumarill? Will it be a foul play, or will it be
a return?
A return? Oh my gosh! Azumarill took a lot of damage from that return, and you know, if it is able to get an energy ball, that Abomasnow will be doing detrimental damage to that Azumarill. That Ice Beam will also do neutral damage to that Abomasnow, so luckily for the side of Arbiter, he was able to block. Now we see let's see if it's an energy ball. I think it is an energy ball, and if that hits Azumarill, it will take it down. But luckily for B-Bobby, he was able to use his final shield to his advantage. If this is an Ice Beam,
has a shield left.
Yes, if this is an Ice Beam from B-Bobby's side, it'll do a lot of damage, but it won't take it down because it's neutral. But if it gets to that energy ball and is able to...
Oh, the swap!
B-Bobby switched into that Altaria just in time. Let's see if it's able to get to that Yes, he was able to get to that weather ball, which will do a little bit of a substantial damage to that Altaria on B-Bobby's side, and hopefully do enough to take down the Altaria.
Oh.
But, you know, Arbiter has a lot of Pokemon left versus that Azumarill. Even if that Azumarill has Play Rough, I don't think it will be strong enough to take down this MVP of the game or that Medicham in this particular situation. But regardless of that beautiful swap of B-Bobby, oh, that Hydro Pump did a lot of damage though. It did not take down that that Medicham. This Psychic though will be a GG for Arbiter, and he will be taking down B-Bobby for 2 rounds win and the match. Congratulations, Arbiter from Hong Kong. Girl power, you have won. You know what? I'm all cool for anyone choosing the opposite gender as their avatar. It actually messes with some people's mind, you know? Am I playing against the girl?
Really?
Am I playing against the boy?
That is real.
Especially in the game. Here in the Philippines, a lot of people don't know, especially when you put Pokemon in gyms. Sometimes boys want to be gentlemen, and they don't want to take down the females in the gyms. I've heard of this in certain situations.
Okay.
So I've heard of some of the men falling in love with the female avatars because they're such great players.
Oh gosh.
You get me? So
Very
it is a strategy. It's a strategy. Yeah.
I mean,
And,
I'm not going
so
to judge whatever gender you want to play. Personally, I feel if you want to play a female character, be my guest, because let's be realistic, Marky, I think you got to agree with me. All the female characters get the best clothing. So we get to dress up, we look all fancy. Yeah.
You do, and you get to choose all sorts of different cool colors and stuff like that. Usually the guys have the usual plain shirts and maybe a little jacket.
The guys are like brown, black, gray, brown. That's it.
Blue, maybe blue. But yeah, congratulations.
Maybe
blue. But congratulations to Arbiter for taking that from Hong Kong. You were able to stop that possible double Indonesia grand finals at the very end. So congratulations. But B-Bobby did excellently as well. That Abomasnow for me was the MVP. In that particular situation. Easily. Although that B-Bobby switch into Altaria was a very, very smart, because it was able to really
switch.
Seep in that 4 times resistance to that energy ball, which is you know, detrimental, because the charge to an energy ball is quite long and tedious. So congratulations regardless to Arbiter for being able to take down B-Bobby, even if he was able to do that fantastic switch into Altaria just in time.
Yeah.
So there we go. I think that is it for the quarterfinals. But before that, let's have a little break.
See you after this.
Pokémon GO 5th Anniversary.
Hello Pokemon trainers, and welcome back to the playoffs of the Pokemon GO Tournament. We just finished up our quarterfinal matchups, which means we are down to our semi-finalists. 4 trainers remain, and unfortunately only 2 of them will go on to the grand final, so they'll need to battle each other for that spot. Now, Marky, I know you're very excited because we've already seen some very talented trainers make their way to the semi-finals, and some of the Pokemon, we've had some pretty interesting Pokemon make it through too.
Yes, exactly. There's some Pokemon that we haven't actually seen. One that hasn't come out yet is Shiftry from Snowflakes 27 side. So we're excited to see possibly what he has in store for us. So there are just some cool ones that they have kept as their trump cards, especially some of their attacks. Now, why don't we go into the brackets? It's best of 3 still for semifinals, because we are going in from the quarterfinals a while ago, which is also best of 3. So they have to win 2 to move on to the grand finals. And let's
That's
look at the
correct.
brackets right now. Go for it, Danley.
All right, so for people that weren't able to catch our matches earlier on, here are our semifinalists. We're going to be watching Walker from Taiwan go up against Snowflakes 27 from Indonesia in our first semifinal matchup. And then after this match, we will have Lina 86 from Malaysia go head-to-head with Arbiter from Hong Kong, again, for that grand final spot, that best of 5 that these trainers are aiming for. But before then, they have one more obstacle, and it is going to be this battle here. But before we go into our second semi-final, let's focus a little bit more on Walker and Snowflakes, because we opened the day with these two trainers matchups, and I think the comments we mostly had for Walker was that he has a masterful display of execution when it comes to these matchups. He's so good at picking what Pokemon he wants to bring into these matchups, and he knows when to use his swaps and shields. And the same thing can be said for Snowflakes. It seems like both of these trainers, they are well versed in actively swapping and figuring out when's the best time to use their shields.
This is also going to be quite interesting, Danny, because Wigglytuff is going to be an MVP for Snowflakes 27 today, because Wigglytuff is actually very effective against Sableye, very effective against Medicham, and also could be a worthy opponent to Azumarill and Swampert. So please watch out for that Wigglytuff. Also, that Drapion will be doing a lot of damage with its fast poison type attack. So let's see what happens. But for me now, to start this off, watch out for Wigglytuff.
Gotta watch out for that Wigglytuff. Now, Marky, just looking at the teams, right? We weren't able to show it on the screen for the viewers, but what kind of Pokemon are we going to be expecting from both of these players? Like, what 3 Pokemon do you think would be some safe options for that first game?
Well, for me, in my opinion, Snowflakes 27 will be choosing that Wigglytuff.
Do you think he'll lead with the Wigglytuff? It feels like
he
it's
could
no?
either lead with the Wigglytuff or save it for a later time. But that Charm user versus that Medicham versus that Sableye, they will have no way of combating this Wigglytuff. And of course, that Drapion will be a very, very good option as well for Walker to choose to combat against that Wigglytuff. So hopefully Walker ends up using that Drapion as well. So let's go into the versus. Without further ado, let's just watch it. Let's see what they choose. Let's go.
Gotta let the trainers decide what's gonna be happening here. But round 1 of our semi-final matchup between Walker and Snowflakes 27. Who's gonna come out on top? Let's let all the trainers and their Pokemon do that talking. Who will win? Let's find out.
The region of Taiwan versus the region of Indonesia. It's going to be quite exciting to see what is in store for both regions. And here we go. The Shiftry is finally out. And Taiwan side, we're watching a Walker and his Medicham versus now a Swampert. And it was able to switch right away and take in that Hydro Cannon because it knew how many mud shots it took before that Hydro Cannon came out, and it won't do too much damage on that Azumarill. Whether it be Play Rough or Ice Beam, Walker will do a considerable amount of damage to that Swampert. Swampert is a lot more bulky when the Ultra and Master Leagues, but in the Great League, it's a little bit more of a glass cannon. Not necessarily super glassy, but it won't do well versus either Play Rough or Ice Beam from Azumarill. Azumarill will do a lot of neutral damage in this particular situation if it is not shielded, and it is shielded. Let us wait to see what comes out next, because that Sludge Wave, if this is a Sludge Wave, will be able to do a lot of damage on that Azumarill. And it knew it was a Sludge Wave. It blocked.
Stunning block.
Stunning block. And that Shiftry that has come out will do a lot of damage, but Ice Beam that was chosen by Walker will also do a lot of damage on that Shiftry. Shiftry is very, very glassy, but now they don't have shields on either side. That was another very smart swap because we knew that grass type attack from that Shiftry, Leaf Blade will be hitting, and it won't do too much damage on that Medicham. So luckily it came out and was able to seep in that damage. Another Leaf Blade is coming, and I think it is
No
going to be
shields.
enough to take down that Medicham. No, there
so
is a
close.
little bit of damage left, and Medicham is able to do an Ice Punch, which will be enough to take down that Shiftry on the other side. Because as I said,
that
it's
is
a
such-
very, very glassy Pokemon, that Shiftry, but it
Such a
does
big
a lot
pickup
of
too.
damage.
That was such a good pickup because you've got two Pokemon on the side of Walker that actually are weak to that Shiftry, right? The grass type.
Exactly.
The grass typing from it would have obliterated his team, so fantastic way of getting rid of that Shiftry. Now having to worry about the Skarmory, who is doing a reasonable amount of damage and is rather tanky.
It is quite tanky, but that Hydro Cannon will do a decent amount of damage. As Swampert is an attacker. He is a very strong attacker, and he's also a Hydro Cannon spammer. So a couple of Hydro Cannons will do a lot of damage to that Skarmory. And from what we know, Walker has used a Sludge Wave, but Brave Bird came out, lowering the defenses and, giving the opportunity for Snowflakes to take control of this particular situation. Walker did not know that Brave Bird was coming and, did not have enough shields to block that. But now we have one Pokemon apiece on either side. That Ice Beam will do a decent amount of neutral damage to that Skarmory, but there is a little bit of a delay, a little bit of a lag. It might be enough if that Skarmory does. No, that Skarmory Sky Attack won't be able to take down that Azumarill. I have a feeling. It is not able to, but that Ice Beam might. It might be able to do enough damage to secure a victory. Let us see here. It did, and that Skarmory is taken down. Walker has won the first round. Congratulations, Taiwan!
That actually looked like it was going to be a comeback from Snowflakes, but Walker with, again, just masterful display, understanding how to use his lineup to its maximum capacity. And I feel like the fact that he got rid of that Shiftry, it was such a big call for him, because if he couldn't get rid of it, he would have lost his Azumarill as well as his Swampert much sooner. They would have had a lot less HP, and that game wouldn't have been that close.
Also, that Brave Bird from Snowflakes 27 that came out of nowhere. Well, I mean, not necessarily came out of nowhere, but I mean, he thought that a Sky Attack would happen, but the Brave Bird came and it just really obliterated the opponent. But also, as you can see, because Brave Bird does so much damage, it also loses a lot of defense. So it was very smart of Snowflakes 27 to swap, because he needed to reset his Skarmory. So essentially, that was a very smart move from Snowflake's side as well. We're not discounting how strong Snowflakes was in that particular matchup. You know what? That game was just excellent. So let's see if Snowflakes is able to come from behind and beat Walker in the next round.
I'm wondering what Pokemon are going to come out for him, because it almost feels like the Shiftry was so efficient last game. At least you know that water Pokemon are a huge factor for Walker's lineup, that we might see the Shiftry again, but do you think it's still going to be that Skarmory? Do you feel like that Pokemon is really necessary for his composition for Snowflakes?
Skarmory is actually quite an interesting choice, because it is very bulky. It's a bulky choice, and versus that Medicham, it'll do wonders against that Medicham, as well as possibly that Drapion. And there you go, that Wigglytuff is out. I told you that Wigglytuff could be possibly an MVP. He didn't take it out the first time, but now he brought it out, and Drapion is also a scary competitor to that Wigglytuff. So luckily, he was able to switch right away into that Swampert. Crunch coming out now from that Drapion, doing a decent amount of damage to that Swampert. We know that Drapion also has another attack that could potentially come out as well. So we will only find out what it is in a little bit. Let's see here if this Crunch is going to come and take down that Swampert. That Swampert from Snowflake's side was blocked. And let's see if Drapion on Walker's side is going to block this. And he just took it like a champ, and that Drapion goes down. Although, in my opinion, that would probably be one of the only choices versus that Wigglytuff. Although, who knows what other Pokemon Walker has in tow. We've got a possible Hydro Cannon coming in, which is the most likely Hydro Cannon. from what we've seen, we've seen a lot of sludge waves, not too many
That's both
earthquakes.
blocks.
I don't think we've seen an earthquake. We're seeing now the first block used by Walker. In this situation, that Hydro Cannon would have done a lot of damage to Walker, but Walker was able to block that, and he is able to go for his second Hydro Cannon. He is blocking that because he knows that Swampert could potentially be utilized for further matchups in a later time. He is analyzing his opponent and finding out possible ways of taking down that Wigglytuff. And with that Swampert, we know that it actually has that sludge wave! Skarmory versus Skarmory! Skarmory versus Skarmory! And it's both flying attack. It's usually a sky attack and a brave bird for Skarmory unless they interchange it with flash cannon. But they are charging and charging and charging because they can't switch out their Skarmorys now. And if they brave bird, their defenses are going to go down significantly. This is a stalemate at the moment, so they're going to be completely sky attacking each other until the very end, I have a feeling. But let's see who has more charge and who's able to take charge of this mirror matchup between the two Skarms.
It seems like it's going to come down to IVs, right? Like, who has the better IVs?
Who has the better IV? The CMP type matchup, who will be able to hit the Skarmory at the right given time. The internet connection is also in play, so who knows who will come out victorious in this situation. That sky attack is really chipping down at it. We've got the Hydro Cannon coming on. He was thinking that Hydro Cannon was going to hit that Skarmory, but it's actually going to hit that Wigglytuff, but it doesn't do enough damage. Although that Wigglytuff is able to counter the Swampert with its Ice Beam, taking the Swampert down. But now the Skarmory is back into play. It is able to charge into Brave Bird. Hopefully, it is able to hit first. Will it be able to hit with its Brave Bird? With that final hit, Walker could be victorious, and I think it is accurate to say that we have our first grand finalist, Walker from Taiwan.
Wow, Walker is looking unstoppable today. He looked fantastic in his first matchup, and now against Snowflakes this time. He's really flexing it now. 2-0, straight to the grand final. Walker, if anything, I'd say he's looking like my favorite to actually take the whole thing.
You know what? He came from somewhere that I didn't expect. I didn't know that Walker from Taiwan was going to be able to take down, the first opponent from Singapore very, very, very well, and now did wonders versus Snowflakes, obliterating Indonesia, who has had two competitors vying for the Grand Championships and are both taken down. Thanks to Walker from Taiwan. So congratulations to Walker. You are now a grand finalist. I'm not saying that Indonesia is not a strong region, but the thing is, well, they had two players from their region, right? To try to take on the grand finalist. But Walker was able to defeat all odds, especially that Wigglytuff, and take down Snowflake.
I thought that Wigglytuff was going to be a big factor for Snowflakes actually to come back, but it just seems like as tanky as it is, even though it's equipped with Charm, it just wasn't enough to really carry him through to that grand final.
Yeah, but I mean, he didn't take out his Sableye, which was quite smart. Walker knew exactly what weaknesses he had, what strength he had versus Snow. He analyzed the situation so well that he knew exactly what Pokemon to take out and what he thought Snowflakes would do in the next round. And the cool thing about this is because there were so many rounds already, instead of having the limitation of only choosing the first three Pokemon that you chose and just maybe switching the first Pokemon of choice because you don't want to reveal your trump cards, these individuals now are able to use and utilize all 6 Pokemon because they already have shown what Pokemon they have, right?
Yeah, so
So
it's
there
not
you
just
go.
about the element of surprise, it's the execution. It's being able to start with the right Pokemon to think that, okay, these are the likely candidates that my opponent's going to bring out, so I'm going to bring these Pokemon who can not only resist them, but I'll also bring in counters that I'm going to be able to swap to if they're going to try and counter my initial Pokemon. So congratulations to Walker, he's our first grand finalist, and we got to determine who his opponent is going to be. And it's going to
Yes.
either be Lina from Malaysia, my boy, or it could be Arbiter from Hong Kong. And we know
Yes,
both of these trainers are also very strong opponents.
That execution of Walker, congratulations. You are the executor. Oh, there you go. It's a punny day today. Let's
very
go with
punny
these
day.
Pokemon puns. It's Samson Oak. He really has taught me so much.
I don't know, it sounds like it's going
there
to
we
be
go.
Professor Marky Oak very soon.
Yes, Marky Oak, the third of the Oak brothers. So there we go. There we have it. We have our first grand finalist, Walker. And why don't we go into brackets to find out who will be the next to come.
Yeah, let's just remind everybody all the matchups that happened for today as well. So Walker being able to 2-0 Snowflakes and make his way to the grand final, which is scheduled for 3 o'clock today. So if you want to come back for the finals, remember 3 o'clock, lock that into your brains. But we do recommend you stick around for this next round because it's going to determine who Walker is going to face in the grand final. Is it going to be Lina 86 or is it going to be Arbiter? We're only going to be able to find out in this matchup, but these trainers, if anything, Marky, both of us believe that these two are very strong opponents because in their previous matchups, they both 2-0'd their previous opponents.
They did. They 2-0'd their previous opponents and they really, really showcased their strength, their valor, their mysticism, their instinct, and were able to get through to the semi-final round without losing. Both of these players have not lost yet, so congratulations again in advance to the Malaysian region with Lina 86 and the Hong Kong region with Arbiter, who will be going up against each other for the semifinals. Again, it is a best of 3, so if you win 2, you move on to the finals, and in the finals, that is when it is best of 5. So now, without further ado, let's meet our players.
It's Lina 86 from Malaysia going head-to-head against Arbiter from Hong Kong. Again, this is going to be a best-of-3 series, so the first trainer to get 2 wins over their opponent will go straight to the grand finals and face Walker in a grueling best-of-5. But the question is, who's going to make it out of here? Professor Marky, I know the trainers, they're still getting ready to play the matchup. The game isn't quite ready as of yet, so let's do a little bit of a analysis of the Pokemon that they're going to be bringing in. Who do you feel like has the favorable lineup, and what Pokemon do you think are going to be potential MVPs for these trainers?
Okay, interestingly enough, we can see that the Lickitung in Arbiter's side with that lick could potentially do a lot of damage to that Trevenant. That Trevenant on Lina's 86's side, which was an MVP in the previous match, could see a little bit of a struggle versus that Lickitung, versus that Sableye, although it will do a lot of damage to that Medicham as well as that Swampert. So, you know, anything goes. Also, Abomasnow. Watch out for Abomasnow for that Trevenant. I don't know if that Trevenant will actually come out because it also has a lot of weaknesses, even if it has a lot of strengths. That Medicham, on the other hand, could do a lot of damage to that Abomasnow and that Lickitung, so it would be smart to maybe send out that Medicham on Lina's side. I'm talking here for Malaysia. And Alolan Ninetales as well with the Powder Snow could also do decent damage to the Nidoqueen, although it is also known that Poison Jab from Nidoqueen and the Fairy typing of Alolan Ninetales don't go well together. So it's going to be an interesting matchup between the two of those. Galarian Stunfisk is also going to be able to really make quick ties to that Abomasnow because of its Rock Slide, the spamming of Rock Slide, as you have seen in multiple occasions in the past, where it was able to really, really take down a lot of its opponents. And of course, that Noctowl MVP that was also present will also be able to do a lot of damage to that Abomasnow. although it is also double-edged swords as well. Abomasnow has a lot of double-edged sword cases in this situation, because that Powder Snow will do a lot of damage to that Noctowl, but Wing Attack from Noctowl will also do a lot of damage to that Abomasnow. So
Yes.
we will be very excited to see what happens there. So in the end of the day, again, because of the fact that there are so many choices, we will find out who will choose the right first Pokemon to beat,
Yes.
each other out. And they're both level
That seems to
46.
be-
They're
It
both
seems
at
to be
level
one of the
46.
biggest factors, right? Like whoever has the favorable matchup in the opening Pokemon tends to have the advantage, but the comeback potential is there. It just depends on how you're able to execute your lineup in general, and if you've got a backup lined up, right? Like in case you have a terrible opening, maybe the remaining Pokemon are going to be able to help you. But oh, look at this matchup!
This is exactly what I said a
Abomasnow.
while ago. Remember what I said a while ago? That Shadow Abomasnow from Arbiter's side versus that Noctowl from Lina's side. It's a double-edged sword. Powder Snow is super effective against Noctowl, and Wing Attack is super effective against Abomasnow. So it's just up to the CMP ties, and it's obviously also up to which ones are tapping the fastest. But in the end of the day, and Weather Ball it charges much faster than Sky Attack, so it was smart for Lina to switch right away. This Abomasnow, the Shadow Abomasnow from Arbiter is coming down, and that Medicham comes back out, and Medicham can really chip down at the other side, at Lina's side, real quick, because that Galarian Stunfisk is half steel. So it is quite smart that it's able to put it out. Earthquake is the only option in this situation for Galarian Stunfisk, because Rock Slide won't do too much damage on Medicham. But he was able to trick the side of Arbiter with this Medicham by doing Rock Slide instead of Earthquake, charging enough to make it seem like he was doing Earthquake, but he let out that Rock Slide. That Earthquake does a lot of damage to that Medicham, which was a previous MVP on Arbiter's side. But now that Arbiter has no more shields, it is going to be quite difficult to really be able to take down the opponent. This possible Psychic could do a potential high amount of damage to that Ninetales, but with that Fairy typing of that Alolan Ninetales and a possible Dazzling Gleam, that could do so much damage to that Medicham. And there you go, that Lickitung is out. I love Lickitung. Body Slam.
Shiny too.
Yeah, that Lick Body Slam combo that Snorlax is very used to in the Master League is something that Lickitung can actually use to its advantage. It is actually a legacy move, so there was once a raid game for Lickitung in the past. So if you have that move, it is also a best buddy Lickitung. So it is at level 51, so it's quite bulky. As opposed to it being a Licky, the Lickitung for Great League is the better option, because it is obviously much bulkier. Essentially, it is like using an item, using an Eviolite in the main series game while playing Great League. But then Alolan Ninetales was able to take down that Lickitung real quick. But here we go with that Medicham coming out, although there are no more shields, and possible Weather Ball could really do a detrimental amount of damage to that Medicham, taking it down right away. But that Abomasnow, it was saving it, because it knew that the Medicham wasn't really needed, that Abomasnow was able to take it down at the very end. So congratulations.
Wow. That was just a flawless matchup, I feel.
Arbiter from Hong Kong and that Abomasnow, that MVP Abomasnow. I'm sure he knew that lots of Trevenants would be coming into play. He knew that that Noctowl is also present. So Abomasnow is a really good choice to choose, as well as Swampert. Swampert is there, and those are three of Lina's really strong Pokemon choices. So Arbiter was smart.
I think that Abomasnow pick is just really going to mess with Lina for this next matchup, because he's got to think, wow, he led with it last round. It did so much damage. What what solutions do you have? And, you know, technically Arbiter, he could mess with Lina next round and say, I'm not even going to bring my Abomasnow. Then what are you going to do then?
Exactly, and that Lickitung, that best body Lickitung at 1.5 CP, very, very strong. Really showed Lina 86 what's up, because that was the first time I think it was brought up, and it was really effective in using its combo, its Lick Body Slam combo to really chip down at Lina real quick. So congratulations again to Arbiter for all of those awesome choices, and let's see if you are able to, you know, take on Lina 86 and win the second round.
Well, it looks really good here for Arbiter, but Lina, is he going to be able to make that comeback happen? It is the best of 3 series, so with the 1 game advantage, Arbiter just needs to win 1 more battle against Lina to make his way to the grand final. But for Lina, it's going to be an uphill battle because he has to win 2 back-to-back games, and he's up against a really tough composition because, as Marky mentioned, the Abomasnow, such a huge threat to his lineup, and just having it on the field and even not on the field at all, it can really mess with your psyche, right? Because you're always thinking like, okay, this Pokemon's really good, I have to prepare counters, but then you prepare the counters and it's not even there, then you don't have your optimal lineup. So there's so many things happening at once, and I feel like if you're Arbiter, right, like you're just, it's smooth sailing because you don't have that mental pressure when you're trying to pick your Pokemon team.
Exactly, and that you know, but that Abomasnow, in the end of the day, and that Lickitung both have a weakness to Medicham. So if either of those Pokemon come out and Medicham does come out for Lina, then it could be a GG as well for Arbiter. So in the end of the day, even if Abomasnow does come out and Lina does choose the right counters, you know what? We're overanalyzing this. In the end of the day, it's their choices, and we're gonna find out right now in the next round.
I mean, it's our job to overanalyze, right? Because it's so far the games have been so good. It's so close, and you can really see that these players, they're trying their best to try and dodge these attacks. They're trying to pick the right Pokemon to swap in and take the hits. So Lina, is he going to be able to make that comeback, or is it just going to be smooth sailing for Arbiter? I hate to say it, but I'm kind of Team Arbiter right now because he's just
I am Team Arbiter too.
Calm.
He's really calm, and he's just coming in there, and he knows exactly that Shadow Abomasnow, which is back out in the play, would do wonders. And Lina knew as well that bringing out that Alolan Ninetales could actually do a lot of good neutral damage as well to that Abomasnow. So that Weather Ball, see, because of it being a shadow type Pokemon, a shadow Pokemon, it does take a lot of damage. That Lickitung is also back out, so we have this double grass type because Lickitung also has the access to Power Whip and Abomasnow has the access to Energy Ball. So if a Swampert comes out at all, it could be a hard hit for Lina 86. But here we go. We've got the spicy Noctowl versus the spicy Lickitung. What were you saying?
Marky, does that mean there's no Medicham here for Lina?
We'll see. Who knows? We'll find out in a little bit. But here we go. We've got as we progress, we're gonna have the body slams one after the other. The Lick and the body slam. Lick's not gonna do too much damage, but it's gonna be able to charge that body slam so fast, as we've seen with a lot of the Snorlax in the past, and we've seen with the Lickitung in the last round. It is able to do a lot of good damage before that Noctowl can even charge one attack. And with that switch, it is able to do the Weather Ball right away, right after. So that is a very smart choice from Arbiter. It takes down that Noctowl and still leaves the 2 shields for Arbiter's side as well as Lina's side. So I think this would either be a good time to shield or a good time to just let that Abomasnow, go down. But that shield was good because now it will be able to do a Energy Ball, hopefully, or a Weather Ball to be able to do a little bit of damage to that Ninetales. It's really funny that it has a Weather Ball and an Energy Ball because it is a snowman, kind of. So it's able to throw those balls at Ninetales. That's the first time actually seeing that. It's something I noticed quite recently. So let's see here if he will do the energy ball, which will do quite a lot of damage to that Ninetales if it does hit. But yeah, Ninetales was ready for that. It did block. And that Lickitung comes back into play right now. Oh no, will it be able to get to it? I think it knew that it was not going to be able to get to that power whip, so instead it just used the body slam, or it knew that hydro cannon could potentially just wipe it out, so it just decided, yeah, I'm just gonna wait for it to take me down and just do the body slam. And that was a smart option, but it wasn't able to get to the second body slam in time. Therefore now, Medicham MVP comes out to play. Let's see here. What if this is a sludge wave? It could do a lot of damage to that Medicham. Hydro Cannon as well does quite a lot of damage. And see,
but is it enough?
It is not enough.
Double.
But it is a double Hydro Cannon, and I don't think it is enough to take it down. So it will be able to. Oh, so close! But
I think
congratulations,
that might be it.
Shinlina. Shinlina has taken the second round. Congratulations! You know, coming out of nowhere, Shinlina was able to go and defeat Arbiter in that second round. Congratulations to him.
I love his answers too, because we already spoke about how the Abomasnow was just going to be such a huge issue for Shinlina, but even then he brought some fantastic Pokemon, and I don't know how to describe it. The way that he was playing, it was always like he was dancing on the edge, expecting the Abomasnow to come out, and he was so cautious when it did, because as soon as he saw the Abomasnow, he's like, all right, let's preserve that Swampert. We're not going to bring the Swampert out at all. We'll bring this out after the Abomasnow gets dealt with, or if they've actually used up their swap so they can't swap it in. And it was just so good, because once he had the swap advantage where he knew his opponent couldn't actually swap in the Abomasnow to deal with the Swampert, I think that was basically it. So Shinlina, even after losing that first round, cool, calm, collected, was able to play around the Abomasnow pick and able to tie this series 1-1. I am so impressed with how he played.
Congratulations, Malaysia. They are hanging.
You make it sound as if I'm playing. I'm not that good, but all right.
But I'm proud. I'm proud of you guys, you know. And what's interesting is that in the beginning we were saying that Arbiter had the better chance of winning. But we also saw that each of these competitors had won both of their rounds in the first quarterfinals, or the third and fourth quarterfinals round. So now we can see how well Arbiter and Shinlina have been playing, and will be able to play a final round to decide which one is the better player, right? And will go up against for the grand finals in the next round, go up against Walker for that final crown.
I also want to say I'm really impressed with these I want to call them unconventional, because they're the only two trainers to bring these Pokemon in. Firstly, the Abomasnow and the amount of impact that Pokemon has had so far for Arbiter. And then I wasn't expecting the Noctowl to be that effective for Shinlina, but so far this Pokemon has been a core pickup for all of his games, and it's done so much work for him. It's able to face tank a lot of this damage. It's also got some rather reasonable resistances, so I didn't think the Noctowl would perform as well as it did. Like, what's the secret behind the Noctowl?
To be honest, that Noctowl has been around for a while. He's been chosen in multiple Players' Cups in the past, so different typings, the different kinds of Players' Cups in the Pokemon Go Battle League. There are spicy choices, for example, that you can only choose flying type Pokemon, or you can only choose normal type Pokemon. And Noctowl has always been a stable pick since the very beginning. But it leaves and it comes back into the meta. It's one of those Pokemon. And so for me, it is a spicy choice, because it is a current remix meta, but it's not fully one of the go-to meta Pokemon.
Yeah.
Remix meaning there are some when you're talking about remix cups, it's there are some Pokemon that are fully meta that cannot be used in the remix.
Yeah,
right?
I just wanted to
And
ask, like, especially for today, right? Like, why has this Noctowl made such a big play today for Shinlina? Actually, you know what? We're gonna hold our thoughts because we just got informed that the match is just about to begin. Game 3 between Arbiter and Shinlina is just about to begin. The winner will be facing Walker in the grand final for a best of 5
Yes.
match. I know you're excited, Marky. I'm excited. Now, the thing is, last round, we thought Arbiter was going to 2-0 the series, but Shinlina made the comeback. Seeing that both players have been able to take a match off of each other, who are you kind of favoring now?
I am actually still favoring Arbiter in this situation. Interesting start. We've got the Swampert with for Arbiter, as well as the Medicham for Shinlina. And it's, you know, this is a neutral matchup. But let's see what they are able to do with what they are given. The Hydro Cannon is a spammable attack, and it is able to really chip down at that Medicham quite quickly. So it did block. That Ice Punch would have done a decent amount of damage to that Swampert. So who knows if that was a good choice to block, but maybe he has a feeling that Swampert could be utilized again in the future. So they both block. They both have that block under tow. This Ice Punch will do damage, but I don't think it will take it down. But, you know, safety first. He did block.
That's both blocks used, though.
Both blocks used, but maybe he believes that that Swampert is one that is needed for this particular match. He might need it for the future. That's why he is keeping it. So that's why he kept it so long, because it's able to do that chunky damage in the beginning before maybe another Pokemon coming in to sweep at the very end. But if he does have an Abomasnow in his team, that block would have been wise to have. So I don't know if that was the best option to do, to utilize both blocks for Ice Punches. But there you go. Swampert did its job. It was able to chip down a lot of the damage for Shinlina's side. This next set of attacks, this weather ball could do detrimental amounts of damage. Powder Snow really chipped down to that Noctowl, taking it down before even having to use a weather ball. Now that weather ball is not very effective against that Medicham, but it might do enough damage to really, you know, give Medicham a chance. Oh, it did. It took it down. Because of its shadow form, it was able to take it down and hit it quite hard. That Alolan Ninetales and was coming up against that Abomasnow. It could have done a lot of damage, even if it was a neutral matchup. But as we can see here, that Ninetales, Alolan Ninetales, did a dazzling gleam! Take it down that Medicham! Oh my gosh! This is so exciting. This weather ball.
Is there
now
a block? Is there a block available?
There is still a block, still available on Shinlina's side, and it's not going to be enough. This is very unfortunate, because that dazzling gleam coming out of nowhere from Shinlina's side really did the damage that was required for that Medicham, and that's something I think
There's
I said.
the block.
There is that block, and now this is a GG. I have a feeling this might be a GG unless it is a weather ball, and yeah, it did enough damage
Oh my
because of its
gosh.
shadow form. Arbiter has fallen. Shinlina 86 from Malaysia
Wow.
is going on to the grand finals, coming from the bottom. Now we're here. Congratulations, Shinlina 86.
He conquered the Abomasnow as well. No joke, I thought that Abomasnow was going to be the end of Shinlina, but he just did such a fantastic job playing around the Abomasnow, and clearly he had an idea that, okay, yes, the Abomasnow was an issue, but I have Pokemon that can put pressure on the Abomasnow. Kept bringing out the Noctowl. The Noctowl was a threat. I underestimated my brother. Not
You know
literal
what?
brother, but
Yeah, but you know what? Sometimes these individuals who just start off, you think that they don't have the team to conquer the other team. They show that they don't have too much of that stamina, but they show in the end. They start off really slow, but then at the very end, that's when they peak. And those are the best kind of players because you don't expect too much from them. And then when they come out of nowhere, that's when you realize, oh my gosh, they were saving it for now.
That's when you have the sprinters and the marathon runners. And especially in this tournament, you don't want to be a sprinter. You want to be a marathon runner. You want to last to the very end. And funny thing, right? We got this long distance runner, Lina, going up against Walker, right? Walker is going to be a...
Walker is quite a fast walker. He's a fast walker.
Pretty fast.
He's a sprinter. We've got Walker the sprinter, and then we've got Lina, you know, the marathon runner. So let's see what they have in store for us now. Let's see if Walker really can take down Lina after these quick messages. See you in a bit.
See you after this break.
Pokémon GO 5th Anniversary.
Hello, Pokemon trainers, and welcome back to the playoffs of the Pokemon GO Tournament. It is grand final time, and I know Professor Marky is very excited for this matchup because it is with
I'm so excited.
Giants. Yes,
they are
I
two
think
giants.
both of us,
Oh my gosh.
we have so many good
Lina,
things to say.
86 from Malaysia and Walker from Taiwan. Some amazing games today. Like both of them had one game, at least either the quarterfinal or semifinals, where they won both matches. So this is going to be, you know, up in the air. Walker, on the other hand, though, looking at the team compositions, he has a Pokemon that is good against each of Lina's. Azumarill is good against Noctowl with that Ice Beam. Sableye is good against that Trevenant. Medicham is good against that Stunfisk. Swampert is a equality versus that Swampert. Skarmory versus that Medicham. Drapion versus Alolan Ninetales. So Walker has a very good composition here versus Lina. And let's talk more about Lina in a bit, but let's look at the brackets first before we can talk a little bit more about what the composition is in this particular situation.
Absolutely. So for people that didn't get to tune into our broadcast earlier on today, you can rewatch the matches a little bit after this broadcast, but Walker making it all the way from the quarterfinals. He managed to beat Ric Flair Best from Singapore 2-1. He then went on and won over Snowflakes from Indonesia in 2-0 fashion and is looking fantastic in that grand final slot so far. Whereas for Lina, he was able to eliminate Ikiyoshi from the Philippines in a 2-0 fashion. And then he won over Arbiter 2-1 in what I want to call an amazing comeback because he lost the first game of that best of 3.
Exactly. And what's interesting to note as well is it's best of 3 for the quarterfinals and the semifinals. But for the grand finals, with Walker from the Taiwanese region and Lina from the Malaysian region, they will be playing best of 5. So the first to 3 wins will be deemed our grand finals champ.
Now, I know the players, they're almost ready for the match, so before then we're going to talk a little bit about their Pokemon compositions before the match begins. Now, Professor Marky, I know you did a little bit of research looking into these teams, and you already said that Walker, he's got a counter to every single one of Lina's Pokemon, but looking at the game through Lina's point of view, how are you going to approach Walker knowing that all your Pokemon, you can't fall back to one Pokemon to resist everything?
Well, Swampert on Lina's side is quite interesting because it is a neutral matchup. So for both sides, we will see what particular thing Lina can actually do to counter Walker. But he also has Trevenant. That is his trump card. Trevenant is good against 3 Pokemon on Walker's side. It is good against Azumarill, it is good against Medicham, and it is also very, very 4 times effective against Swampert. Walker does not have that Trevenant, does not have that grass type. So it is interesting to note that Lina has that trump card in his play. Although Sableye could always come out and just sweep that Trevenant. So let's see what Walker has to counter that. But from what we've seen, it's a David versus Goliath. You know, this is an interesting thing where we always thought that Walker was gonna be the David, but he ended up Goliath
He's
entire
the Goliath.
way through. Yeah.
I mean,
and
looking at him, right, he just seems so nice. He seems like that guy. He's just so happy. And then all of a sudden, you have these terrifying Pokemon that just sweep you away. And you're like, I never had a chance.
And it's also interesting to note that Lina has that Noctowl still, even though it doesn't have as many type advantages. It still will do wonders against Medicham, which is Walker's MVP, well, from the previous matches that we've seen. So now, this is the Grand Finals. I am so excited to see what they bring out for the first round. But this is Walker from the Taiwanese region versus Lina 86 from the Malaysian region for the first round of our Grand Finals Pokemon GO Tournament Battle Festival Asia 2021.
Let's go, Marky. I'm so excited for this first game. I want to see how close the trainers are going to be in terms of skill. And look at the openings. It's Noctowl versus Sableye. An immediate
I told you
swap.
that Sableye
Swaps.
And as I said, that Swampert versus Swampert would potentially happen because it is the only neutral damage that Walker has versus Lina. The rest have counters. So with both Swamperts out, it's always going to be up to the CMP tie, and we hope that that Hydro Pump gets enough to be able to hit twice in a row, which Walker has been able to do. And now the Lina has blocked that second Hydro Cannon. Walker, I believe, will be... Oh, he did not block because he, as we know, Swampert has been utilized multiple times as one of his best Pokemon, and it could actually take down neutrally a lot of Lina's Pokemon. So I think that's why he did block that last one. Also, he was able to take out this particular Swampert with Hydro Cannon unless it's blocked, and it isn't. So Walker still has his Swampert available, although it does not have enough to use the Hydro Cannon. Although it does make it to one final Hydro Cannon, it's like a last resort for it to take a little bit of damage to that Noctowl. And before going down, it was able to do a Hydro Cannon, so props to Walker for being able to do that. That's a good counter that Skarmory versus a while ago, but it was switched right away into the Stunfisk versus that Sableye, that purified Sableye. As we know, that Sableye is very, very tanky, so if that Earthquake had hit that Sableye, it would have done a significant amount of damage. Luckily, he was smart enough to block that. Now, let's see here if... we know that Walker has a return, so Foul Play would be more effective. We know that the normal typing is not very effective against Steel typing. So that Foul Play will do a good amount of damage, especially if done consecutively, to that neutrally to that Stunfisk, but it was able to block it. That Earthquake could potentially do enough damage to take down that Sableye, but who knows, depends on the IV. Earthquake, no, it did not take it down, but now it is able to do another Foul Play when it comes back. But before that, Skarmory is up to be able to try to do enough damage to this Noctowl. But in this situation, Shadow Ball does a decent amount of damage to Noctowl. Luckily for that Shadow Ball, it is able to do a little bit of neutral damage to that Skarmory before that Noctowl is finally taken down with that Sky Attack. Oh, not yet, but it is able to farm down a little bit just to maybe get to a good Brave Bird. With Brave Bird, it will do weak damage to Stunfisk, but it will still be able to hit it quite significantly. So if it is able to get the Brave Bird, which I don't think it will be able to, maybe just a Sky Attack, but it did not get the Sky Attack on time. If that Stunfisk has one more Rock Slide in it, it could take down that Sableye. But if that Sableye is able to get the foul play before, it will take down that Stunfisk, and it did, and that is a Walker. Round 1. Congratulations to Walker for taking down Lina for the first round. And this is best of 5, so he has to win 3 times to be able to claim the Grand Championship.
It was so close too, literally down to the wire, down to whoever was able to get their charge move in first, which Sableye had one. So when he got swapped in, just immediately popped the charge move, managed to get the finish off onto the Galarian Stunfisk, which seeing that Galarian Stunfisk in play that round, it played a massive role in keeping Lina in the game. It's just, unfortunately, he wasn't able to get that last hit in onto the Sableye.
Yes, that Stunfisk is actually smart to have been put out because it is one of the only big counters to Skarmory, and Skarmory is a very, very bulky Pokemon. And if that Skarmory had come out, that Stunfisk could have done some very, very good damage to that Skarm. And it was just very interesting to see how Walker danced through that set. He was able to, really jump from one Pokemon to the next. There was something about his gameplay that was very artsy. I don't know how to say it, but like how he was saving up for that foul play, even though he knew that his HP was getting very, very minimal. He knew that he needed to get a certain amount of charge so that when he came back, that foul play could be there to save him at the very, very end, which it did. So Walker was just such a fantastic player in this particular set.
So normally this is when I sort of sit down and ask you, how would you approach this next game if you're Lina? But I almost feel like I don't think anything needs to be changed, right? He played that first game fantastically. He did the best that he could. It came down to who was able to get their charge moves in quicker. Could things have been a little bit different if the Noctowl didn't take that first hit in and was able to get that elimination right off the bat earlier on, right? Because he was so close to getting the knockout. I believe it was onto the Sableye.
Yeah.
Was it the Sableye? Yeah, if the Sableye didn't get that charge hit in, I think we would have looked at a completely different game.
Oh, wow. Okay, so Walker's Swampert versus that Stunfisk wouldn't have been good for Lina. Luckily, it switched right into another Swampert, and as I've said from the beginning, this is a very, very good neutral matchup because the Hydro Cannon is super spammable, and it's just all up to the tie, and usually they will be using up and utilizing all of their shields on that Swampert because Swampert is very, very strong. It has the ability to really, really take you down quite fast. So this Hydro Cannon, one after the other from Lina and Walker, are really, really wearing down at each other. But you can see how much damage that a Hydro Cannon does. And just one Hydro Cannon hitting Lina is enough for him to switch into Skarmory, because he knows that because that Swampert was already switched in the beginning, he has the ability to do a swap. And now he's able to actually farm him down, get as much charge moves as he can to utilize Skarmory for future damage. And he is almost, at a possible Brave Bird that he could utilize for this next Stunfisk. But I don't know if he will be using the Brave Bird or he will be using the Sky Attack in this situation. I think he's using a Sky Attack just to be able to maybe get one more Sky Attack in instead of a Brave Bird, or to be able to wait for him to be able to switch into a different Pokemon. But there we go, another Sky Attack comes in. That Mud shot of that Stunfisk will not do too much damage because that flying typing of that Skarmory will allow it to take a lot of Mud Shot. So here we go. He was able to actually get in those 3 Sky Attacks because he knew that Stunfisk would be farming, and he was actually quite smart to farm. Stunfisk could be doing an Earthquake now, or he could fake him out and use a Rock Slide, but it is an Earthquake, and he thought that it was going to come out with a Rock Slide, but then it was a switch-in, a quick switch-in, Noctowl versus that Drapion. That Shadow Ball from Noctowl won't be doing too much damage on this Drapion. That Drapion will be holding strong versus those Sky attacks because it isn't part Bug as it, Skorupi. It is actually a Dark Poison type, so it will be able to take neutral damage from this Noctowl. Let's see here what Noctowl does. It is obviously a Sky attack because I don't think that in any other given situation it would be using the what do you call that? The Shadow Ball versus a Dark type Pokemon. So this is multiple crunches in a row. Hopefully that will be able to take down Noctowl, although Noctowl has been able to get to a Sky attack, but that shield is used by that Drapion, and now hopefully it can get to that crunch in the very end, and it was not able to, but that Hydro Cannon is going to come in and take down that Stunfisk. I'm so excited. So exciting. Okay, so that Hydro Cannon has taken down that Stunfisk, and with this final blow, hopefully that crunch will come first. As you can see, there's a really quick tapping on Walker's side to get that crunch, and he gets to it right in time, taking down that Noctowl for that second win on Walker's side. This guy is unstoppable. This Goliath, the Arceus of gaming. Walker has won 2 out of the 5 rounds.
I think it's the Chimchar outfit. That has to be giving him all the power, all the luck in the world.
It's not the Chimchar outfit. It's that.
What is it?
Leon Flex. Because I would like to say that that is something that you get when you reach Legend in Pokemon GO Battle League. And that Leon Flex is one of the only movements that is available, and it's so cool. And I wish I got the Legend last season, but to be able to get that, you needed to reach the highest rank possible, and that guy did. So it's a combination of that and maybe a little bit of the Chimchar vibe. So kudos to him. Walker's doing such an amazing job. Such amazing switches, especially with that Drapion. And you know that MVP Noctowl on Shinlina's Shinlina's side had no chance versus that Drapion. It was quite a fantastic battle. Don't you think, Danielle?
Look, it's not over yet. Okay, remember the grand finals, it's a best of 5 series. There is absolutely an opportunity for Shinlina to come back. He did it last round. He was able to get the 2 wins in and close it out. So there's the chance. There's a chance we could be looking at a 3 game sweep. I don't know if it's huge, but there is a chance.
But there is a chance. There is a chance that it could actually happen. That Shinlina comes from behind, but you know what? As we said a while ago, the sprinter and the marathon runner, he could just be taking down these notes in his figurative file cabinets of his precocious mind, finding out exactly what he could go up against Walker for the coming 3 rounds, because he already knew what Walker had. He already showcased his entire team, so now he knows what exactly to put out next to potentially give Walker a run for his money.
Oh my gosh. I think I need a massage. I gotta head to... Is it Veilstone City? I think it's Veilstone City with the massage lady. I gotta go after.
She's gonna give you a good massage and calm you down after all of these Pokemon puns.
Too many puns. But Game 3 is gonna be happening in just a moment, folks. It's down to Shinlina and whether or not he's gonna be able to make the comeback, though. Because really, to be down 2 matches in a best of 5 in a grand final, it's tough. Especially when you go into a grand final, it's essentially the finale, and I'm very sure some of our viewers, they would understand the feeling that, you know, when you're battling against someone and it's a high stakes game, you start to get the jitters, the adrenaline kicks in. It takes a very strong person to be able to remain cool, calm, collected, and to be able to think clearly with all that adrenaline going through their veins. So I'm wondering if it's going to be down to Shinlina being able to collect himself and to be able to make the right choices, but Walker doesn't make it any easier. He's made some fantastic plays. He's got a very balanced lineup, which is hard to deal with too.
Yes, he has a very, very strong lineup. He knows exactly how to utilize each of these Pokemon. He knows when to save for the right charged attack and when to use it at the right time. He has played some very artistic games, and I'm very, very excited. I'm a fan. I'm excited to see what he has in store for Lina in this next round, the third round, and potentially the last round. Let's see what Walker has in store.
All right, best of luck to Lina. Cheering from Malaysia. I'm gonna cheer for Lina. I think the comeback potential is here, but oh man, Walker's giving him a really tough time today.
Yes, he is. And Walker has been giving a lot of his opponents a very tough time. There were a lot of very, very strong contenders a while ago that Walker was able to take off one at a time. Took off Indonesia, took off Singapore, and is now in the grand finals with the perfect start. Azumarill versus that Ninetales. We've got this Sableye versus the Swampert now. Both of them swapped in. Very, very suave swaps. Although that Hydro Cannon will chip at Sableye very, very quickly if he does not get to those foul plays in time. But he actually still has 2 shields, so Walker still has enough to be able to take down this Swampert. If this Swampert does not shield, it can actually take down the Swampert with another foul play. So this is they both are able to charge their charge moves quite fast. So this is an interesting set of opponents. So it's basically like who will get to their charge move first. Will Sableye block this? I think he does, because he wants to have the choice of who to choose next. So for example, when that Swampert goes down, Lina will be choosing the next Pokemon. And if Sableye is there and it goes down, he will be able to choose what is super effective against the Pokemon that Lina chooses. So in this particular situation, it is a Noctowl. It takes down that Sableye, but they both have no more shields left on the table. Skarmory versus that Noctowl. Noctowl has no chance unless Shadow Ball comes out, which again is a neutral damage versus that Skarmory. So, but unfortunately, Skarmory is very, very tanky, so it is able to take a couple of Shadow Balls before it will be able to go down. So, let's see here. I think it is using a Brave Bird. With that Brave Bird, it's quite strong, but lowers your defenses severely. So, with that excellent hit, it is able to do enough damage to that Noctowl, and they swap at exactly the same time, going back to that exact first 2 Pokemon that we saw in the very beginning. Azumarill versus that Ninetales. Ninetales with Dazzling Gleam could do a decent amount of damage to Azumarill, but Azumarill has so much more bulk than Ninetales does. So it did do a bit of damage, but as you can see here, we'll see how much more Play Rough is able to do versus this Alolan Ninetales. Let's see here. Oh, wait a second. It is a bulky Alolan Ninetales. Good on you. Let's see if he was able to get to another Play Rough just in time to take down that Alolan Ninetales, which is quite bulky. Quite bulky. It's, in terms of IVs, it is probably a very, very high IV Ninetales. But I am sorry to say, but this is going to be a 3-0 for Walker, and we have a winner! We have a grand finals winner of the Pokemon GO Tournament, Pokemon Battle Festival Asia 2021 champion, Walker from Taiwan.
He literally walked out of this tournament as our champion today. He must be so happy being able to not only walk out as champion, but he also showed off how dominant he was in that grand final series, able to get a 3-0 win over Lina.
You know what? I want to have the water they're drinking in Taiwan, because not only did they win the KOLs, but they also won for the Pokemon GO Tournament for the Battle Festival Asia 2021. What a feat that was. 3-0. Fantastic work. Meaning he only lost once this entire time. Just
it was
once.
So clean. It was such a clean run for Walker. And it was only Rick, right? Rick was the only one that really was able to bring it to at least a tie in their best of 3 earlier on today. But wow, Walker is, if anything, if you're into competitive Pokemon Go, you're gonna have to start watching Walker and see what magic he's playing at these tournaments, because clearly this guy is just next level.
He also was very, very lucky with his first Pokemon pick, because as I said, it always comes down to what Pokemon you choose first. And with that Azumarill versus that Ninetales, it is you know what? It's always the first to the Fairy type. So whoever reaches that Play Rough or that Dazzling Gleam first will be able to do more damage. And the thing about Azumarill is it does get to Play Rough much faster than Ninetales does. So Walker took home that crown, chose the correct Pokemon to take on his opponents, and did it with so much pizzazz. I haven't used that word in a while, but it was a fairy type competition, so I had to use a fairy type name.
Fair enough. Unfortunately, no dragons. We only saw the Altaria, but unfortunately that Pokemon didn't make it too far. But once again, congratulations to Walker for being our champion for this year's Pokemon Go Tournament. Now, some people are probably wondering, what does Walker get for being a champion? He gets a brand new Nintendo Switch from the Pokemon Company, plus a copy of Brilliant Diamond and a copy of Shining Pearl. So congratulations to him. He must be so happy to be able to get both of these brand new games, which I've personally been enjoying. And Marky, I know you've been enjoying it as well.
I've had so much fun. It's so nostalgic going back into the region. The Diamond and Pearl region. It brings me back to my childhood. And playing it with different graphics, a different set of Pokemon. You know, I started off with Torterra. I mean, I have a Torterra now. I started off with Turtwig, and I rarely ever start off with the grass type. So it's a fantastic game, and I'm excited for Walker to be able to use what he has in his skill set as a Pokemon Go player, and maybe move it into the main series. Maybe try his luck at the regionals from the main series games, which are also a lot of fun, right?
Oh, they're a lot of fun, and they're also very, very exciting games. So, Marky, I hope you've had a wonderful time with me today. Now, from what I've heard, we might actually be able to get an interview with Walker and actually ask him what he was thinking during those matches, because to have someone as good as him be able to clear out that grand finals, I want to know what's his secret.
And I also want to know, why Walker when he's such a quick runner? Right?
I'm very sure that was not the intention of his name, but okay.
Maybe, you know, it's the same concept of that Squirtle versus the Score Bunny. And sometimes, in most situations, the Squirtle will win the race. Right? Even if the Score Bunny is quick.
Type matchups might say otherwise, but
well, Squirtle does beat
Squirtle does always beat Score Bunny, but not in speed.
Not in speed, exactly.
No,
but,
not in speed.
In the end of the day, that Squirtle will beat that Score Bunny, and in this aspect, the Walker beat the Sprinter. So.
I don't know. I was thinking Shinlina, he was definitely he was definitely a marathon runner too, though. I feel like Shinlina, he wasn't the guy that was just going to get out of the gate and just win. I felt like he was also a very patient player. He was very conscious of the decisions he made.
He was quite smart.
But I think Walker, at the end of the day, his lineup in general, it was very well balanced. He had all his bases covered. He never had any glaring weaknesses, right? Like his team comps always had something.
But there were always times when he was at a disadvantage in terms of his team. But he was able to maneuver it in a way. Yeah, he was able to maneuver it in a way, as a pro player that he is, to really, really take down his opponents real quick. He was able to jump in and find their weaknesses, find their Achilles heels, and show what he had, his valor, his mysticism, and his instinct,
his strength
as a player. You need all three of those to win in Pokemon Go. You need insight from all three of the team leaders. So that's why it's also important to meet the different teams. I'll be excited to find out what team he represents.
What team
as well.
he's playing for? Are you gonna swap teams to figure out what team Walker is on?
If he tells me he's a different team color and be like, okay, I'm gonna change teams now. I'm gonna be part of the Asian champion team. But I'm excited to see what team he is and find out how Pokemon Go is played in Taiwan. Although I have been there multiple times. Maybe we have actually been at the same events. I've gone to the Safari Zone over there, and
I wouldn't be surprised if you just walk past him, right? Because he just looks like such a friendly guy. He's just a dude. But then when you battle him, you realize this is not just a dude. This is a Goliath in a friendly body.
Yeah, interesting that I walked past him, right? I walked past Walker. Stop, buddy.
Oh God, stop it.
But yeah, that was okay. Just looking at his team, very, very strong choices, and I'm excited to talk to him about why he chose each of these Pokemon to make up his champion team. So without further ado, let's welcome Walker from Taiwan, our grand champion.
Hi, Walker.
Hi, guys.
Congratulations.
Hi, Denali. Hi, Marky. Thank
Congratulations, Walker! Oh my gosh, let me ask, how long have you been playing the Pokemon Go, especially Pokemon Go Battle League? That Leon pose in the end is like, it's so
yeah,
it's so telling of how you accomplished legend rank, right? It's a legend pose. It's a very strong legend pose.
Thank you.
So
I have been playing this game for 5 years almost.
Ah, yes. Cool.
Yeah, and I keep playing every day.
Yeah, me too.
You
also attended the Safari Zone in Taiwan.
Yes.
I was there
sure.
too, so we could have actually seen each other when we were there. So
really?
much fun. Yeah, I miss those Safari Zones.
Next year, we also have a Johto activity in Taiwan. So
yeah, I'm thinking of maybe going there. Well, if we're allowed to fly there. But I've been to 2 events now in Taiwan, and it's just so much fun. They're such awesome players, and they love Pokemon Go so much. So congratulations. I just wanted to ask you, why this team composition? There are a lot of meta choices and very, very, very smart choices. What were your instincts in choosing these Pokemon?
Well, I don't like to defense. I always attack. So I construct a team that each mon can do decent damage to one another. However, I seldom hard counter opponents, and also seldom build hard counter. So I think this team was really skill defending.
Yes, it's a very, very strong combination of mons, I can see. And with that said, because you're an attacker, let me ask, what team are you? What do you play for? Are you Valor, Instinct, Mystic?
I have discussed with my friends, and I construct myself as well. So I think both are important.
No, but I mean, are you yellow? Are you red? Or are you blue?
Oh! I'm blue. I'm blue team.
Blue. I always
misunderstanding.
You know what? That's fine. These Mystics are so strong. They're so smart when they choose their mons, and I'm just so fascinated with the Mystic gameplay. I'm actually
because Mystic team are more people, no?
Oh,
yeah. In Taiwan, there are a lot of Mystic players as well, right? May I ask, Walker, how many have you won? How many tournaments have you won in Taiwan and in the Asian region?
Well, I didn't play a lot before. I sometimes play the unofficial self-arena, but I didn't play too much. So actually, this is the first tournament that I win. that I won.
Congratulations, Walker.
interesting.
Yeah.
So this is your first tournament.
Fantastic.
I want to ask this next question actually. Sorry, Marky, I know
Go
you're
for it.
very
Go for
excited.
it.
So
Yeah, I'm a
Walker,
fan.
for this tournament, so this team that you made, did you make it just for this tournament, or is this your team that you normally use when you even play online ranked matches?
No, this is the first time. This month is the first time I use this team.
Interesting.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
And okay, let me ask you one last question.
Okay.
As a champion Pokemon Go battler, why did you choose Walker?
Marky, why?
No, I'm just asking. Why did you choose Walker as your name?
Then
What is the thought process
Oh.
behind it? Is it something that relates to your life, or is it a Pokemon name that you choose?
it's a good question. Actually, it's an easy answer because
Okay.
one of my favorite NBA player is Kemba Walker. So I named after him.
Yes, a sportsman in
We-
his right?
Yeah.
I
and
thought maybe you
also,
picked Walker because. Oh, sorry, continue.
Okay, and also I inspire myself to be a keep working guy, so I can make effort on everything.
Exactly. And like for
Ah.
example, with Pokemon Go, right? You
Yeah.
walk to hatch eggs. You walk to stay healthy, and that is the concept of Pokemon Go. To really go out
Sure.
there and walk and enjoy the world, right?
That's true.
So
Right.
congratulations again to you, Walker, for everything you've done. And before we end, why don't we ask you what your favorite Pokemon is? I'm sure
Oh.
everyone's interested in finding out. I mean, it doesn't have to be best battler or best Pokemon Go battler, but what is your favorite Pokemon? Cutesy wise or really cool wise?
My favorite one is Sceptile.
Good choice.
Because
Why?
I'm a big fan of Ash, and Sceptile is his one of his strongest Pokemon in his team. So
Agreed.
I really love it.
I agree with
in
that.
terms of Sceptile, do you prefer the regular Sceptile or the Mega variant?
Actually, I love the regular one.
The regular.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Regular grass.
Okay.
because the Mega one is too colorful. I like
Yeah,
green.
yes, plain and simple. Like his choices today,
Yeah.
they were
Yeah.
straightforward.
Simple.
Some of the best meta, like 1 to 6, the best meta Pokemon in the Pokemon Go Battle League. And congratulations again, Walker. A round of applause to you. You are our grand champion for the Pokemon Go Tournament. Goodbye, Walker. Hope to see you very soon, maybe in Safari Zone in Taiwan or in the next, Battle Festival Asia 2022.
Okay, thank you so much. See you.
Right. Thank you, Walker. Congratulations.
Walker.
And have fun playing Brilliant
Congratulations.
Diamond and Shining Pearl. Bye.
Bye.
So personally, I thought he picked Walker because it's basically the heart and soul of Pokemon Go, right? Like, you gotta walk everywhere to hatch eggs, to catch... I mean, you said it, right? To catch Pokemon, so I thought that was the idea behind the name, but I didn't realize it was just behind his favorite player of all time.
And sometimes that's what it is. Sometimes it's your favorite hobby, your favorite, something in your life that really applies to who you want to be. And you can be whoever you want to be in Pokemon, and that is completely fine. You can be a female avatar, a male avatar, you can be whatever you want to be, and that's what makes Pokemon fantastic.
So to all of our wonderful viewers that tuned in today, thank you so much for tuning in. We had a fantastic day with our champion, as well as all of the contestants that participated today, all of our trainers that battled hard with their Pokemon. Unfortunately, we could only have one champion, and that is now officially Walker. So congratulations to him once again. Marky, do you have any final words before we close out the stream today?
You know what, we're ending for now, but we are only halfway through the Pokemon Battle Festival Asia 2021. This is very exciting, which has many upcoming activities and shows for you to enjoy until the end of February. Lots of cool stuff, including the launch of one of my favorite games so far in terms of the trailers, Legends of Arceus. I am so excited for that.
It looks so good. I'm so excited.
So good. But before that, before going into more of that, let's go into the brackets to really pin down our winner, who is Walker from Taiwan.
So just to remind people that tuned into the broadcast a little bit late, congratulations to Walker, who was able to get that 3-0 victory over Malaysia's Shin Lina. But it was a long path for both of these trainers to get to that grand final. So starting off for the day, we had Walker beating out Singapore's Flair best 2-1. Then our second quarterfinal was Black Yusun going up against Snowflakes 27, who actually ended up going in favor of Snowflakes 2-1. Shin Lina able to beat Ikiyoshi from the Philippines 2-0, and Arbiter, who was the opponent of Shin Lina, able to 2-0 Indonesia's B Bobby. Then for our semifinals, we had Walker 2-0 Snowflakes in convincing fashion, going straight to the grand finals. Shin Lina actually pulling off a fantastic comeback over Arbiter in that second semifinal match, going 2-1. And then again at grand final, 3-0 going in favor of Walker, 3-0. If you did miss these earlier matches, we do recommend you guys actually wait for the end of the broadcast and watch the replay so that you guys get to enjoy all the action that we did, because today, every match was amazing.
Yes, this was such a fun tournament to watch, and it's such a great feat to see each of these amazing regions compete for who is the best region in the Battle Festival Asia 2021. So congratulations again to Walker, but congratulations to all the other 6 regions for doing such fantastic work and really inspiring to be the very best like no one ever was, right?
Absolutely. So I guess that's going to be it for us, Marky. But again, just a reminder to you folks, Marky said this before, but I'm here to remind you that we're only halfway through the Battle Festival Asia. There's going to be more content, more tournaments. That's going to include not only the best players from the region, but also your favorite influencers. So do make sure to follow us, as well as visit our website for more information and also updates on when that's going to happen. And also tune into the highlight show with Marky, myself, as well as Tash Bunny. We're going to keep you all updated with all what's happening with the tournaments, as well as influencer matchups. And we also have some fun games on the show as well, right?
Yes. We're very excited to talk a lot about not just Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl, Pokemon Go, the TCG, and Unite. We're just here to unite the Pokemon world. You know, everyone has their own concept of what game they love to play, but in the end of the day, we're all Pokemon lovers, and we support each other in the love that we have for this amazing game. So without further ado, I have been Marky Strom, and this is Danny.
I thought you were going to do me. All right.
Oh, I can do you too, if you want.
It's fine. It's been great. It's been great broadcasting with you, Marky, but looking forward to the next highlight show. We're going to have plenty of fun next time. But again, that's going to be it for us. Thank you all to you beautiful trainers for tuning in, and we'll see all of you next time. But until then, happy catching, and spend the rest of your day with not just our favorite Pokemon, but also your favorite Pokemon. Until next time, bye everybody!
Bye guys!
Pokemon Go, 5th anniversary.